And then he put the house up.
Come on, guys, it's dinner time.
We'll get a bail. All right. All right. We're going to begin this evening's meeting. Tonight is Wednesday, July 12th. This is our first budget workshop. I'm going to turn it over to Michael to get us started.
Thank you so much, Mayor, Council. Before you have your operating budget. We met previously just to talk about the CIP. This will be our first go at the full operating that incorporates that CIP. One thing I want to hit on up front there are still a few key items that I want to do a little more work on and adjustments to in terms of allocations. That's what I personally kind of refer to as like the soft costs of personnel. So the way that some of the taxes, the health insurance, and the retirement is broken down, some of those allocations need to be better formulated. I don't expect that to impact the bottom line of what you have in front of you dramatically, just shifting around some of the allocations. The budget in front of you has a general fund revenue proposed at $5.6 million. And expenditures at also $5.6 million. This general fund budget has a $4,000 surplus at the moment. Of course, that will fluctuate greatly depending on what the council directs for cuts and for additions. We'll go essentially page by page or department by department, depending on what questions you have. I'm sure some will go significantly faster than others. We'll cover revenues and then the specific expenditures.
Michael, just tell everybody. We're going to do 2 hours, and then we're going to do the last 15 or 20 minutes of your comments. So if y'all want to take notes or keep up with some questions y'all might have at the end, I think we'll be more productive that way.
Absolutely, and the document will be published on the website probably tomorrow morning. This draft, the same that we did as the CIP, and then Vanessa will be showing page by page on there as well. All right, so starting on page 4, you have citywide expenses by type. You can see on this page city council, the city administrator, city clerk, and legal. The subtotals for those are $76,000, $201,000, $140,000, $75,000. We'll dive into all these. I'm not going to read these totals off. We'll dive into them as we get to their pages, but it does show that the function area for each of those is on there. Skipping ahead up to page 10, this is an overview of your general fund revenues. For the most part, we've anticipated 4% growth for each of these. 4% growth for each of these revenues. We'll talk about the property taxes in depth on the next page. I know that's going to be the hot topic item. There's really nothing major change proposed on this one. I don't know if there's any specific questions on that. We are still researching. It was brought up during the CIP about some of the very specific ordinance regulated designated funds. And I'm still pulling those specific areas down. So we'll have that in the future as well. And I'll include that in the budget so it's fully transparent to anyone who reads the document. The next page is your 2024 revenue for general fund property taxes page. The city is anticipating $645 million of taxable value. My 3 minutes are $645 million in 2024 taxable value. Each mill represents $645,000. Each half mill represents $322,000. A tenth of a mill is at $64,000. Our prior year value was at $535,645,519. We've seen a 20% increase in value from last year. Of course, that equates to a difference of approximately $109 million. Now here comes the fun part. setting a millage rate, starting to determine a millage rate. Last year, I believe we were at 6.5. I would love to be at 6.5 again. I think it'd be great. But I've heard a lot from various council members from the community that with the increase in values, it just doesn't make sense to stay at 6.5. So what we've done as a staff in creating this budget was to get you under 6 mils. So the proposed millage rate in this budget is 5.9999. So pretty close to 6, but still under 6. I've also included in there what your revenue would look like at 5.5, at 5, and the rollback rate of 5.13. And then again, that chart that we just reviewed at the bottom shows you exactly how cutting each type of mill will impact your revenue. With that, unless there's any specific questions, we'll start moving into the actual expenses. One item I am looking for direction from the council on at the very end of this is the millage rate that you want to be tentatively working for. So we'll go through all these expenses first so you can get a clear understanding of that. But I am looking for that direction at the end of the meeting.
Just let it be said that as we go through and we look at the millage rate, to be, whether it goes up or down,
Sure.
it all is taken account based on the budget. I mean, if we're gonna increase that, we better.
We'd have to cut on our budget in order to, yeah.
If you want to go below the 5.999, you will have to recommend items for cuts, yes.
We should be looking at that as we go
Absolutely.
through, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have any...
If that's our goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Moving to page 12, you have the department staffing breakdown for the city council. And it's pretty straightforward. Of course, the mayor and 4 council members. Moving on from there, we move to our city council operating expenditure funds. Now, I don't know what the preference of the council is. I don't know if you want me to read each one of these lines, if you just want to quickly glance, if there's any questions specifically, or if we just keep moving.
I have one question
Yeah.
on the health supplement.
Sure.
We did away with that, I thought. We hadn't been getting it right. No, I thought that was something we voted on that went away.
Yeah, but not, I think Jerry's still in it, I think.
No, that was the
No, that's the
retirement,
retirement.
Oh, that's what.
which we do have allocated just for
Okay.
Mr. Smith. Okay, that's a great point. I'll double check on that one.
Okay.
Oh, that's at 200 or something.
That was at 200 and
Yeah.
we voted.
We only have the retirement for Mr. Smith in
We
there?
did.
Because you might want to increase that because you don't know who you're going to get in April.
That's true.
Somebody might opt in.
We could, yeah. We could definitely do maybe like a half year for 2 council members, potentially. Sure.
Some of that 12,000 could go toward that.
Yeah.
I would like to think about maybe some of that going toward the training, education and training.
Sure, yeah, we can.
Travel. Because, I went on that one training, which was really a great training and highly recommended for everyone. And I think the cost of that, of course, I didn't take the whole reimbursement for driving my vehicle. But that was probably, I don't know the exact number, but probably about $900
Sure.
for that trip with the program and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. You can do that. No objections from me.
That's just a recommendation.
Mhm.
I want to discuss that.
Any other items on the city council operating?
So you want to increase that, Mayor, is that what you're saying?
I think it would be good for all, like, there's one in October, the second part of the one I went to. It's a little closer in, it's in Orlando versus down there near Miami. And, but I recommend that we get all the training we can because it really opens your eyes to what government is. And I would recommend it for everybody at the council table, so.
So we change that to, if it's $1,000 a piece, you're looking at 5,000, there's already 2 in there. What do you want to increase it to?
I mean, that would be, education and travel would be, I guess, one, because,
I mean, you got to go to them, so you got to
Yeah.
get there.
yep.
Do you want to give them a number, or?
You got to. Because I'm doing.
We can just put an
I
estimate
think
that is reasonable, yeah.
their programs are about $300
Mhm.
a piece, and then you got your room, and it's usually a 2-night stay, and they have, I think mine was like $160, and we, of course, got the discount for for their, rooms, because those are regular, like $300 rooms.
So if we increase it to 7,500, we probably could cover everybody?
Yeah, I think we could. And that's not that we'd all end up using it, but I think we should really consider that.
Sure.
We want to be the best we can be.
And we'll ask the council if we want to go, or, I mean, instead of just up and go, when we'll go through the council.
Well, I think if we budget it for it, it should be not an issue.
Just
How
go.
do they move money?
Yeah.
Transfers.
Hmm?
Transfers move money?
What's your thought?
I was just trying to think.
I'm not sure what you guys have done historically in terms of attending conferences. I think it's definitely reasonable to put in the 7,500 number.
Yeah.
And take it from the health insurance stipend.
Absolutely.
So it'll actually be a decrease
We'll
still.
still have a decrease, yep. Well, you might have, it'll be pretty close when we factor in the increase to the retirement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, probably level that out.
Very good. All right, if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next part. Page 14 covers the city administrator's office staffing. This includes the position of the city administrator and 25% of the executive assistant. Now, one thing I want to just point attention to, and this is the case for all of these, and I'll just point out what this first time. Those summaries at the beginning of the budget talk about, it breaks it down to personnel, operating, and capital. So for example, the personnel services shows as $185,000. When we look at page 14, you see actual salary proposed is 112. So that's your actual salary proposal. The summary page for the personnel services includes items like health insurance, retirement, those other personnel type of activities. So I just want to make sure that, especially for anyone watching at home, when you look at those first few pages of summaries, personnel services is not just salary. I just want to make sure.
So is that just the 25% comes out of that for the assistant? Or
Correct. Just 25%
including
comes out of that
her-
position.
I guess it's Julie, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So I would assume that would come, the other amounts would come out of other departments.
It does, yeah.
Right, that's what I was saying.
So yeah, one item to factor in here. So I based your salary for your next city administrator at $100,000, which what the previous administrator was at. I didn't factor in any cuts or increases. I'm sure that number will be different one way or the other, but it felt like a safe budget estimate. This is definitely one that I was talking about earlier in terms of health insurance and retirement. Like those numbers I want to review the distribution on, because it's just not where it should be. It's definitely higher than it should be. If there are no questions, I'll move along.
I got a little question.
Sure.
What is repair and maintenance, $400? I know that's probably nitpicky.
Sure. Yeah, it can literally be any type of repair and maintenance that would be associated with the city administrator position. Repainting that office, for example.
Okay.
I don't expect you to use it.
What about
full 400?
overtime? Exempt, the administrator is exempt from overtime.
What's that? Oh, yeah, Julie.
Oh, Julie.
For example.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That clears that up. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? All right. If we move on to page 16, you'll see the city clerk department personnel. So that would be 100% of Tammy, another 25% for Julie, for example, and then that third spot, which the title is blank, needs to be fit into your city accountant / finance director. That 50% is for that position.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but just going back to the,
Yeah.
city administrator, we had to pay some moving costs last time.
You did.
8,000.
Is that something we wanna look at this time? It's not covered?
We put that up under something, I can't remember what we took out of that. We took it out of something, I don't remember, it wasn't out of his budget though. I don't remember.
Maybe
what.
general government?
It must have been, I think it was 8,000, up to 8,000. And then he had turned in the bills and we paid his moving. That's how we did it.
Reimbursable. But yeah, I can take a note on that. If you want to set maybe another 8,000 or 10,000 aside, I can definitely build that into the budget.
And we don't know where this person's gonna be moving from, so maybe
Right.
a little higher might be reasonable.
I think it might be higher than that to move,
Yeah, things
8,000.
got higher, haven't they?
We're just gonna add that into, just add a line.
We'll get into it.
Are we still on the city clerk?
We are.
I'd like to stop right there and say Tammy ain't had a raise in about 15 to 16 months. She didn't, it comes from the city council and we didn't give her a raise. When all the employees got a raise, I think we all,
Didn't have one at all.
and you,
She did have one.
2020.
yeah, they get 3%, but she don't get a raise. We give it to her. At March, what?
April.
April
April.
1st. It was April 1st of 22.
That's the last time she's had, in over a year, she didn't have a raise. I'd like to give her a raise. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but I really think she's worth more than what we're paying.
Are any raises built into this budget?
They are. Her contract does not call for
That's right.
the automatic, so I would definitely recommend the automatic.
What's the automatic? That's
For
budgeted.
4% or $1, depending on which one's higher for the individual. Now, if this council believes that she's earned a merit increase, we can build that into the budget as well.
I think she's worth more than 4%.
I would say, build into the budget a raise, and then we could do a evaluation.
Build in a merit, but also do the 4% on October 1st with every other
I would
employee.
do a merit. I think it'd come out better for her if we didn't just merit.
Any salary, we should do that with all our salary people, including the city administrator.
Every employee that you have receives the 4% or the $1, except the city clerk.
The city clerk.
So I would definitely extend that benefit to her.
Isn't it fun when we talk about
Yeah, give me some money.
Used to be Willie's favorite
Why not?
part.
I mean, she don't, it's not automatic, so we have to give her a raise.
She didn't make
We
it
can-
play with numbers. 'cause
Has
I don't-
anybody got a number they'd like to come up with?
I mean, cost of living is usually 3 or 4%, isn't it?
I think you said 4 is what you've got budgeted there.
That
so-
we issued, the actual cost of lifting is significantly higher.
Yeah.
Your employees lose ground every year with the incredible rate of inflation recently.
Knowing that it's over the year, it's probably more in the lines of 7%.
I'd say
So you're saying 7 with the merit or,
No, included, so it's a fourth raise.
she make 50 now,
52,921?
and 8% would be 40. About 4,000.
Yeah. It changes to 57,155. 34.
I'm gonna recommend 10. We gotta go with something.
So at 10, it's 58,213.77.
I like that. That's not much raise, we give you 10% of, don't smile. She does more work than you do.
She does.
I recommend, I don't know what else we can do here, but I recommend we give her a 10% raise. She ain't had one in 15 to 16 months, sort of throw her under the bus.
I'm gonna put her on the spot. When did you start?
March 13th, 2021
What'd you start at?
at 45.
Okay.
I can certainly do that 4% that every employee gets, and then I can build in some extra, and you can decide down the road.
Yeah, that's what I would think we'd do. That way we have something to work with for merit.
So I think build that 10 and then we can,
Yeah, we'll be 10 and then we'll definitely get 4 and then we'll see how the merit goes.
Okay, so I have consensus that she will just get the 4% on October 1st, and you can decide the merit at the anniversary date, which would be when your general employee does it.
Yeah.
All right, she got to go another year?
No, that's what you're stopping by having a merit.
Did you review her performance last April 1st?
I don't think so. I think they just gave her across the,
We did Doug's, we didn't do.
yeah, because it was before the election, so it would have been the old one.
Did they
Just
do
like
one?
that again.
just across, I think they just did across the board. Well, I remember,
That's right.
just gave the number and that was it. I don't think it was a percentage or anything, they just gave it all out. But it gives us some
Put it in there.
cushion to see what we can do with it.
All right, any other questions on city clerk? All right. Moving on to page 18 is the only one that you have for legal, as there is no direct personnel cost. So you have a contracted individual. Now, I will call out that I built in a $10,000 buffer in there in case of any additional legal issues that may come up. So it's Mr. McCahill's contract plus 10%, 10,000 in the event you need it. If you don't, it goes right back to your savings.
Did we have any additional costs in year to date?
Not that I know. I
No,
don't
I
know.
think we have anything today. I think we could have possibly had that Jacksonville thing, but not sure.
Vince's been handling it all. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it's
saying-
good.
Yeah.
You're not a puzzle. No.
Okay.
All right, well, if no other questions, we move on to page 19. Development services, the first item is your direct personnel, which is only my actual position. And that is with the proposed cross-board increases and potential merit.
And your percentage was wrong.
What's the percentage increase?
4% or
4 or only 4%? I mean,
yeah.
As we're going through all these, I haven't asked yet.
Yeah.
Have we seen our health insurance increases? What are we budgeting for, planning for? premium increases.
We did 15% for health insurance across the board.
And you have the new retirement numbers? Or have they not yet been out? They should be out any day if you don't have them.
They're out.
Okay, and they're figuring on that?
They should be.
Okay.
Should-
Yeah.
I mean, it was July, effective July 1st.
Yeah, I'll need to double check with Debbie. I rely on her expertise on a lot of those soft personnel. She's been doing it for so long.
We put them in together. We did that, so.
Okay. We'll double check on that one, but yeah.
So on yours, your maintenance and your other current charges and your machinery and equipment has
Mhm.
gone down quite a bit. So you don't require quite as much maintenance.
I've cut quite a bit. I try to be efficient.
Good
Quit driving machinery in your office.
Pay no attention to the 882% increase in professional services.
Yeah.
Which, of course, since we are talking about it, is those items that we reviewed in the CIP. So that is like your land development code increases, the community-wide master plan, that would be $75,000 grant funded if it happens. So those items really aren't that high. It's one of those again, but you already know that. through
So
the
it's
CIP.
offset by the revenue side of the grant too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which went up quite a bit.
And he don't have any travel expenses either, did you notice that?
No, I didn't. Are you gonna do any education or travel?
Well, I mean, we find.
Yes.
I think, I was gonna say, I think we ought to kind of build that in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just,
So that 4,000 that you took off and 5,000 you took off may have to come back a couple $1,000s anyway.
I think you ought to put something in there, that way if you want.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna wanna go to some conferences and
Sure, yeah.
for management.
Take it off that council health insurance statement.
It's a lot of money you're taking off there.
I think I've already blown that.
If there are no other questions, we'll move on to page 21. 21 is your general government personnel. This includes your executive assistant, accountant, utility billing supervisor, utility/code enforcement, and staff accountant.
Okay, who is the blank 50%?
That was the accountant.
No, the.
Yeah, that position, for whatever reason, was on the position name was in the actual name box, so it just got
Okay.
dropped off. But we'll add that.
Just make sure.
And then that plus the other 50% we covered from city clerk, it's now 100% of that position, for example.
And it is based on our current arrangement, not bringing it in.
The current contracted amount that you've done is.
Y'all know where I'm at on that.
Yeah, where we,
Is that something you want to discuss during the
Yeah.
budget items as well? And this might be a good opportunity for that.
okay.
Or we can do it at the end, however you want to do it. But if you want to make changes, I need to know to factor in.
You got that at the end anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not there now.
We also have a page towards the end that overviews new positions, so maybe you talk about it.
We'll do it on there.
Okay.
Got
That
it.
works.
And then we can build it into the next meeting and, got it.
Oh, before we get too far, I do want to point out that we have page numbers on this draft.
And I agree.
And a revision date.
Yes,
I do like the revision
we, I
date.
do too.
Too.
That's-
Alright. Page 22, general government operating. This is one where, for example, where we saw in the city administrator's office, it was clearly too high. This is one that's clearly too low, with a drop in 14% in taxes and a drop in 10% in retirement. So we just need to offset those a little bit better with how the positions are allocated. Nothing too significant here. I don't have anything else to add on it.
So for people that have been in these hearings for 10 years or however long and watched the allocations go over time, the administrator, the clerk, the utility billing, all of the office staff is no longer enterprise fund funded. It's all in the general fund.
I believe there are some people who are outside the general fund. So, for example, Sherry, I believe, and I can tell you for sure, is partially funded out of utilities.
Yeah, same with the, I see it now.
Yeah, but that is a major part of their job.
Yeah, okay.
But someone who has no involvement with the enterprise funds is not funded by the enterprise funds.
It's my fault. I read that as all hundreds when I glanced at it earlier. It doesn't say hundreds. Okay. I have to answer my own question, sorry.
Sure. All right. No other questions? We can move on to page 23. This is your law enforcement page overview, pretty straightforward. It's only shows the contract amount that is proposed. This includes the built-in percent that we increase every year, and then also it accounts for half a year of an additional deputy. That puts you up to 7 deputies and a lieutenant, so 8 overall.
So from 21, when we had, it was 673 somewhere in there, so it's $260,000 case going in. That's adding what, 2 people?
1.5, isn't it?
1.5? I thought it was 2.
Well, we did a $50,000 increase on the mid-year.
Well, half.
I had.
Now, this is supposed to be the other half, I
Yeah,
think.
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think we in the half. I think we finally got a full one now.
So when we go into 23,
And
it would
this
be
time
an
we did a
additional
half
half.
one, yeah, because I remember the contract we did. We added something right at the beginning of this year, it was half, like 50,000.
Well, it's not cheap. It's cheaper, I guess.
Yeah, and that includes the equipment they need, the vehicles they need, any additional ones, and then there's a lot of benefits out there. So when a major incident happens, like that time that we had to stop strip deployed, we had 9 of them over here at that point. So it has definitely been a good service. It's expensive. Public safety is. It's extremely expensive. But the service has been phenomenal.
Pay for what you get.
Sure.
You get too.
And I'm sorry, I'll bring back on how many we had since 21. But I should have had that. Next up, we have the fire department. the page 24 shows the personnel overview. The $24,000 number right there, the second one from the end, is your proposed half of the year of a firefighter. The rest are existing full-time. So that would be that number. Moving on to page 25. This is probably the one I'll try and spend the most amount of time on. I'll try and go a little more in depth than I have. So we are requesting fiscal year 24 on the piece of paper. I'll say first, $1,410,000. The current fiscal year 23 budget is only $811,000. So when you look at just that, it's an increase of $593,000, an increase of 73%. But the important part to remember is, of that, $500,000 is the fire truck that you approved yesterday that is funded through state appropriations, not your taxpayers. So in reality, the fiscal year 24 request is $895,676.81. You're looking at about $84,000 increase. It's only a 10% increase, and in the world of public safety, that's a pretty solid number in terms of
That's
increase.
for $500,000 too.
$500,000 as well, yeah. I believe those additions are going to help reduce your ISL in future years. With that, Chief, do you have anything else you want to
Yeah,
add?
there's one thing you might notice. If you go back to 2022, year we had 75,705 in part-time salaries, or what we call volunteer salaries. We then dropped that by 40,000 for the full-time person that we picked up last October. You dropped off some more of it again this year to counterbalance the half person for next year. And then 18 months from now, if all goes well and we continue to go on the upward graph that we are going, we would pretty much drop the full 25 for the last person. So as we've been adding people, we've been using less part-time people, thereby cutting that budget significantly from 75,000 in 22 to 25,000, so by 50,000 over the last 2 years.
Exactly. That for individuals, that $24,000 increase minus the $10,000 is really a $14,000 impact, and soon that money will be coming off the books too. So.
And in fact, I did a quick thing today because I love playing with numbers. That our day-to-day running costs are actually down 3%. At the ask is down 3% on last year's. Because we've looked at previous years and how much we spent and what we actually think we do need, and that's where the numbers fell. So it's a case of only asking for what we believe we need, and it's not pushing it in too many places, I promise.
Very good. Unless there's any questions on fire, we'll move to page 26. Page 26 is your code enforcement personnel. That is 100% of your code enforcement officer, Kathy, and then 30% of your utility/code enforcement individual, which is Vanessa, who's filling in admirably for Julie today. On the next page of 27, you'll see the operating for that. This is a department that operating costs have stayed pretty much the same. Overall, 3.8% increase, but nothing significant is anticipated there.
I know we keep turning right now, but if somebody needs to school it, I believe that would be a department that we need to
Spend some training money.
training. I mean, I'm not saying she is qualified, but I believe, training wouldn't hurt anybody.
I think we all get kind of complacent in what we know, and we don't, sometimes don't continue our education. I think including Tammy, I was just thinking Tammy likes to go to continuing her education, so we want to make sure we keep everybody abreast of their education. Keep them.
You think we ought to put a few dollars in the code to send her to school or send her to some seminar or wherever you need to go?
Yeah, we can
And
definitely factor that in.
there could be for some of these online stuff like,
I understand. I
attendance
think we need to
online.
look into it.
But it's still online, you still have to pay a fee usually to
Sure,
attend, so.
we definitely do that. Moving on, page 28 is your general maintenance personnel page. This one does feature 3 proposed new positions, 2 of which are your driver slash slinger position. In sanitation, they only impact your general fund by 30% of their salary. The other 70% of their salary comes from the sanitation fund. So that,
Shouldn't it all be sanitation fund?
no, because 100% of their day is not sanitation. So we don't run routes on Wednesdays. So for example, they're not working sanitation that day. And then also when they get back prior to the end of the shift, they are doing general government activities. And that is a huge benefit to us as well. When we do finish the route early or their off day, they're out there, patching potholes and
Yeah, we use them for carpentry, we use them for, just about everything.
yeah.
General maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they, in the last couple of years, they have really kept us afloat with the problem of finding people that wants to work. We've been down 3 employees now for about 4 months. So, they do a tremendous amount of work for Public Works.
So is this an add-on people or not add-on?
So
You say you were short.
No, these are just positions that people have left that we need to fill.
Okay, you had 15,
Yeah.
you're down to 13,
Absolutely.
you're adding 2 more, you're
That's
gonna
right.
stay at
That's
15.
no. These
No,
these
no,
two
you're
specific,
right.
these two
Two
specific
add
are
more.
new jobs. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Two or three?
We're
Brand new.
we're down 3 positions right now, permanent positions.
Okay.
What Michael's saying here is we're looking to add 2 more permanent sanitation positions so we can put the 3rd truck on the road.
So you would be 5 down technically. 5
And
and
right
10.
now I have 6 permanent positions in sanitation and I'm looking to add 2 more. We're
And what's
looking at
what's
third
the
truck.
advantage of putting a 3rd truck on there?
Well, right now, the 2 trucks, are running and we're running at overtime, we have a cutoff time that we have to stop at a certain time before we get to landfill. So by putting a 3rd truck in, we could run 2 residential trucks, doing the residential routes, 1 truck doing the commercial, which is all the dumpsters, the beach cans, the dumpsters down at the boat ramp, the crossings is coming online, we just added 2 dumpsters there, which will add probably 4 more with a total of 6 out there. It will utilize the guys a lot more efficient by adding that other truck on the road as to what they're running now. Look, right now, like the last 2 or 3 days, they're having to go to the landfill in the middle of the day to dump, before they can come back and finish the route. Put that 3rd truck on. it'll
I
give us
just
that-
get some mixed information, I guess, because I'm hearing over here, he said that we're getting done early and we could use guys to do stuff, other things. Then we wanna hire 2 more.
Well, 50/50. Yeah, he's right, Mr. Wolf. We do in the off months.
Exactly.
Summertime gets here, they're all day, except for Wednesday. Wednesday is the day we do not run the route, so those days we utilize them in different things.
So should we add 2 full-time or 2 seasonal?
Yeah.
You have the funding to add 2. They are critical in terms of that off day, adding the maintenance. At times we're behind on other maintenance. That is a great way. It's only impacting your general fund by 30%. So I would definitely recommend these additional. You can try and get seasonals. It's that much harder to hire those individuals. It's hard to hire these jobs as it is. It's going to be even harder to hire a seasonal individual. So.
Hiring a seasonal, your costs are way lower, right?
No.
Yeah.
We have tried to hire seasonal people, part-time people, and it's just impossible to get them. It's impossible. Right now, I've been trying, like I said, for three months to hire a sanitation worker. And, I don't know, I just don't know right now with the way things are going, whether you get anybody part-time to work on the trash truck or not. I do not.
Especially in the hottest months of the year.
And do you feel like we're ever gonna have to utilize that Wednesday for trash pickup? Or,
I feel like when the crossings, especially when the crossings comes on full-time, and another thing you gotta consider too, we will pick up the new gas station out here once they annex into the city. Right now, we do not supply them trash service. They will come in and part of Sugar Sands is gonna come on. So we're definitely gonna end up with 3 trucks running on the road. It's coming. There's nothing we can do to stop that, especially with the growth. If we were talking about today, the city is not back as far as the amount of houses that we had prior to Michael. But the trash is already where we were prior to Michael, if not more. So-
Because the houses are bigger,
Exactly.
more people.
We said something, I thought Sunstock was in the city.
And how-
Yeah.
I know we had to wait 3 years or something, I mean, what?
Yeah, they have a
We
three-year
just got
deal.
that was just for, to pay taxes, we didn't get that service?
Right, and those are, they're not, technically, they're not in the city until that 3 years is up, then they automatically come in. Me and Doug had done talked to them, once they come in, we will be supplying them trash service.
And then the third new position that I mentioned in here is not related to Tommy's department, but it's that electrician position that is at a 40% general fund impact. The rest of it comes out of the utility fund, so we can maybe dive into that a little more in depth once we get to utilities. And Glenn can speak to that a little bit more in depth there.
We don't have an electrician now, do we?
No.
We had one, but, or in that part.
Yeah, we had, when we
Yeah.
had JD working for us, he basically could do the electrical and the air conditioning, and then he left, so we do not.
Page 29 is your general maintenance operating.
So by hiring new sanitation workers, why did the overtime still go up $8,000?
It should.
Well, I believe we use a formula to estimate general overtime.
But it went from 2 to 10.
The second line.
Oh yeah. That is one. Yeah, that's a great point. So that in general we use a formula. This one is one that I increased specifically because these are the kind of guys that you call out to change garbage on 4th of July. These are the guys who are cleaning bathrooms on the weekends, keeping your parks up in the busiest of times. I've built in a budget so that you have the ability to add that service, so you don't have full trash cans during these holidays and on the peak seasons. We can cut that down to, we can reduce it with the extra employees.
Because we could get creative with our 2 new employees and flex their work weeks.
We could flex their work weeks, absolutely. You certainly can, yeah. At the end of the day, your trash cans on the beach are going to fill up
Every day.
pretty quickly on Saturdays during the summer. That's just
And we
how
have
it
to
is.
do that. That's the soonest we have to do. If it don't, it'll be
Well,
trash.
If we don't use it, we ain't losing it, we'll just,
It goes back to
we'll just goes back to our general fund.
Or, again, if we could rotate Monday through Friday or one week and then Wednesday through Sunday. I'm just thinking outside.
Get somebody to work on the weekends, thank you.
I didn't say everybody, just rotate them like every third week.
I think he does pretty good. I don't know what Tommy does. Them boys, they.
Keep 'em under
Did you see, keep the same crew?
Keep up the
I'm
overtime.
talking about that picks up every weekend. You do the same people do it every weekend?
No, right now, like, we have people come in and clean the bathroom, they rotate different people, different weekends.
That's what
And sanitation guys, same way, they rotate different ones each weekend, so they're not all getting stuck on all the weekends.
Hard to make somebody work every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But 2
And
extra
we have to
people
look
can
at
rotate them and not be overtime.
Definitely. Yeah, that's one of those ones that I figured would be nicer to have in your budget if you need it, rather than trying to figure it out 8 months from now. So, yeah, happy to cut it if that's your direction, but
So we're not losing it, so
absolutely.
be creative with it.
Any other questions on that operating?
So the sanitation workers get the 4% merit raise?
Yes. Yep. And well, I believe they get the dollar. I think the dollar is the higher where their salary is. It's 4% or $1 depending. It's 4% on some of the salaries. It's a pretty small amount.
So not to get in the weeds too far, what is our starting wage for sanitation worker nowadays?
That was on there, I
'Cause
think.
if I remember right, it's always embarrassing.
Oh, it's pretty
I
good
think
now.
it's pretty good now.
Is it finally? Okay.
It's
What is it,
20,
Tom? What's the starting out at?
21,
15,
23,
20, something, 18?
It's probably between 16, 17.
$20 for a slinger, 14 for a, electricians 20, and slingers 20.
We have budgeted 20.
Yeah, some of the slingers do have CDL license, so if they do have a CDL license, that's an extra
Yeah,
dollar.
another
And
dollar.
that goes anywhere, any department. So that's why some of them are higher than others.
But Tommy, I think,
It's perfect.
Mr. Weller made a good point. I mean, if you're gonna add 2 people, there has to be a long-term plan too, to manpower and reduce overtime.
Right.
And there might be an ability to do something creative to alternate the shifts, you know? I mean, that's gonna be your part.
Right.
and reduce-
Well, and one thing, and Michael will get to it in a little bit, is where we pay the tipping fees. We can drive 3 hours to Steelfield, which every time they do that, it is cheaper than going to Gulf County. But driving to Steelfield, it's a 3 hour trip. If they go to Gulf County, it's about a 45-minute trip. Wear and tear on the vehicle, the fuel, it's way better for our guys to go to Gulf County because there's no overtime involved in it. But the tipping fees is twice in Gulf County what they are going to
So
Steelfield.
that's after they get full, they leave and they drive 3
That's right,
hours.
that's right.
They all drive 3 hours?
Everyone that goes to Steelfield drives.
Well, not
3 hour drive.
100%.
person.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm
Just the
sorry, I
driver.
misunderstood, yeah, just the
Just the
driver.
driver, okay.
Right, the other
Yeah.
employees are, when that truck goes to the landfill,
General
they're weed
maintenance.
eating, they're helping do
Okay.
something else. Yeah, only the driver goes to the landfill.
That's your part, I got it.
So when you're thinking of hiring these new people, you could, maybe with an incentive of a little bit more of a pay to work over the weekends, to shift to, Wednesday through whatever.
Well, now, we do work the weekends other than the residential pickup. Residential pickup's twice a week, so it's either Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. Wednesdays, we do pick up the commercials to make sure, and that's basically extra money, because if we empty anything on a Wednesday, say if Dale Governor's full, that's $100 per dump that we go pick up. So we do generate extra money on Wednesday and the weekends. The weekend routes, the same thing. We normally don't pick up on the weekend, but if the cans are full, like the crossings, we would empty those, and, that'd be extra money for the city.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. When I was running for council, they said, don't talk about sanitation, so let's move on.
Very good.
Yeah.
At least until we get to
Great.
sanitation.
Great time to go up and touching that, right?
Mutiny on our hands.
Good answer.
We done that one time,
Yeah.
and it was traveled all up and down 98. We go back to that.
That's right.
All right.
All right, page 30 is your roads and streets personnel. No new positions proposed in that area.
I mean, are you down any in that department, Tom?
We do have a vacancy, yeah. One.
And you said having the sanitation, you're down,
Then one sanitation
one down,
worker,
one sanitation, and one road.
one road department, and then I'm down one, technically general maintenance or park and rec.
Yeah.
I probably gonna hire park and rec because I need that worse than I do the general maintenance, so. But I am down with 3 positions.
All right. Your next page 31 is road and streets personnel, operating.
And the overtime pay is usually called out at night, Tommy. Most of the time, that's like the overtime, somebody calls out that we have to.
Right, yeah, and there's not, in the regular, the general maintenance, the road department, those park and rec, there's not a lot of call outs. The overtime is more in the park and rec, would be the weekends cleaning bathrooms. Those other departments very rarely are called out.
So how are we going down on retirement and salary if we're hiring?
We're not adding new positions on those. We
Okay.
are
The road and
adding
streets, no.
positions. We're not adding positions, we are filling a vacant position.
Okay, gotcha.
In terms of retirement and health insurance, yeah, I would want to check that number.
And the machinery and equipment, that is what you asked for. That's what you,
That's the CIP.
Yeah, I have those pages, I can tell you exactly what it is if you want. Like the road materials and supplies is street paving.
I can't quite get the road materials and supplies, 175,000.
That's
And
paving
it-
and maintenance,
it is.
isn't it?
Yeah, let's pay them. If we elect to pay any
I want
roads.
to say, but, and I know we talked, but the 23 said that's what's for.
And that directly correlates with the transfer in from an outside fund, a dedicated account, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
On the road paving.
Yeah, it's not coming from ad valorem taxes, but a transfer from either paving or maintenance or something like that.
Okay.
60 at least, if I remember right.
It needs to be paid.
Real quick, we should highlight as well. So your $5,000 for the attachment on the skid steer is coming out of Road and Streets, and $50,000 for the one and only Public Works general funded vehicle is coming out of this department. So if you want to talk vehicles, this would be a good time for it, I think. And I have an additional handout that has the name associated with the specific drivers, if you want to see that too.
Does it have mileage? It don't have the mileage on it. What sheet I got didn't have the mileage.
We don't have mileage, but we have the condition of the vehicle. We can pull down mileage as well.
I mean, this is a small town, you can go all over this
It just
town.
says the driver.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
Jerry, you were one of those. Thank you.
Nick, you got yours.
Got it, thank you.
You want to see how many vehicles you got?
Tommy, do you want to talk about the state of the fleet a little bit as well? And then the road and streets vehicle that we're replacing, or proposing to replace?
Yeah, right now we have two small Ford Rangers, that are really old, and if you notice on here, they're listed, I believe, as in poor condition. We'd like to definitely get rid of both of those. Troy has done a really good job keeping all this stuff going, but we do have trucks right now, and I think last year we had a pretty good PowerPoint on it, showed the condition of them. Some of the trucks, the seats are gone in them. We have one truck, the cover on the steering wheel's completely gone. So what we're trying to do is to take, some of them are still, the running condition on them are fair. So we're trying to, Troy rated them from poor all the way up to excellent. And what we'd like to do after last year, we picked up 4 additional vehicles in Public Works. And we're getting in good shape, we're getting in better shape than we've been in a long time. So I suggested to Michael this year, instead of trying to buy 2 or 3, let's just do one truck for the next 3 years or so. We should be back where we're at, you know, before all this Hurricane Michael, and we'll be in pretty good shape. Because some of these are taken out. There's some on here that says sanitation. Those are some of the old box trucks that we have out here. And the only people who uses those are the sanitation guys when they get through the route. If they go to weed eat or do something like that, they take one of those trucks. But those are in pretty bad shape also. So.
Yep, so the one in reference for this one would be number 14, Department Road. Per the name, it would be Ricky, in poor condition. And that's one of those Ford Rangers he was just speaking to.
Yeah.
He drives it just on Wednesdays.
No, Ricky's
The
road
grass
streets.
cutter, he cuts grass most times.
Yeah.
He's grass cutter.
Yeah.
What's he pull the trailer with? What's he gonna put up with that range?
With a Ranger. Yeah.
We got plenty of trucks.
We got plenty of trucks. We
Well,
obviously
some
have,
of
I can't
them-
believe we have 1998 trucks. 2004, I mean, these are 20-some years old.
Right, exactly. Well, you stop and figure, we went 6 or 8 years without getting anything. The last new trucks were bought for Mr. Glenn's department, the 2 water trucks. And I think before that, maybe the old truck that I was driving, that Troy and them has now, is a 2016. That was the newest vehicles until we purchased the ones we did last year. No new trucks had been bought in a long time.
16's almost palatable.
Yeah.
I mean, but these
Instead of buying
5s and 6, ridiculous.
a truck, the way we got the 2 from the sheriff's department,
Well, we only got one. We got one from the sheriff's department, and then we
what
picked up.
model was it?
That is.
Was that the Dodge?
Yeah, the Dodge that Randy's driving, or let's see.
15.
Yes.
And we got it at a real reasonable price. And to me, since we got plenty of vehicles, I would like to see what that cost. We got it at a bargain. Tom, you remember what we paid for it?
The which one?
One Randy's got, we got from the sheriff's department.
We didn't pay anything.
They give it to us?
It was given to us. Now, we did purchase 2 last year at the auction in Panama. I wanna say one was
At auction.
87 and the other one around 9,000.
That-
Both
good
of those
trucks.
are good trucks.
That's what I say. Instead of purchasing, we do have plenty, and let's get rid of the Ford. But now, I'm gonna tell you something, that little old Ford Ranger that Ricky drives, it's got to be a good one. He hauls 2 lawnmowers on a 20-foot trailer.
Well, he does, but he sits on a seat cushion out of a house couch.
You know, then we could get a.
I'm serious, I wasn't being as a joke. Yeah, he actually sits on a cushion that came out of a house because the seat inside of it is down to the metal.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
just,
truck.
my point with the whole thing is, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and chastise the past, but I just, that ain't right to have 20-some-year-old cars. That's just not right. That's not a good program for our city, and
Exactly.
that's what we need to fix.
Some places lease their vehicles have
Right.
to keep them maintained because you turn them back in every whatever. I know you probably can't do that with with maintenance like that, but some of the other things that we might could.
Like I said, Troy and Nick has done an outstanding job keeping all this stuff running. But Mr. Wood's right. I mean, it's sad when you look over here and you got some 2004 model trucks. It's near about 20-something years old. I mean, we need to get rid of those and we need to get something, it's better.
Yeah, well, my point is, I mean, I'm not here to say we should spend a lot of money and start buying trucks left and right. What I'm here to say is this is a poorly managed system that needs to be looked at individually besides the budget. I mean, this is not a good way to run a fleet of cars or trucks or anything else.
How much of maintenance are we spending on these older ones?
Well, the good thing is, like I said, they take care of the brakes, they take care of the oil changes and all to keep them going. But you understand from, I've been here going on 18 years and we haven't bought many vehicles since I've been here. That's not something that the council's really, I guess, deemed important to do. And that's why we're at where we're at now, is because of that.
So it looks here that, I mean, there's not any free cars here. I mean, everybody has a car?
No, not everybody. Some people ride together, like Ricky and Peggy, most of the time they're riding. We assign somebody, each department has
Okay,
something.
everyone here is listed in name.
Well, there's a couple miscellaneous, is there?
Bucket trucks.
Yeah, a bucket truck, we got a bucket truck that is miscellaneous, anybody can drive it. We have a dump truck that anybody can drive it, it's not assigned to any one person, it's just, whoever needs it. Utility department, public works, whatever.
Who is Sam?
He's a
Seems our
new
new
guy
guy.
we hired for general maintenance.
How many of these cars go home?
No, the only vehicle that goes home is the truck I drive, Sandy's vehicle, Garrett, it works for the utility department's on call, and then whatever, I think sometime the on-call truck. whoever
So
wants-
3 of them.
Three at the most. 3 or 4.
4.
And your city administrator one. the city.
5.
So not many.
I think that, Mr. Glenn department, I think where's James live at? We will. Where's he live?
Jason?
Jason, I'm sorry. Oak Street. He takes it home, whoever's on call has that vehicle.
They don't, the on-call guy don't always take the truck home. I don't think they've taken one home many days, the other day.
So that's one that's available to do that. Have we ever looked at a lease program, does anybody know?
This salt water, if you think about it, man, this salt water, if you look at any vehicle over 5, 6 years old, this salt water takes a toll on the rust. And it's hard, if you find a little piece of rust on a bumper, you're gonna have to pay that.
Yeah, but you do a leasing agreement, I mean, that's gonna be their problem and not ours. I mean, you turn it over to them. I don't know if the city's ever looked at a leasing.
Doug did do that last year. We had a presentation, and I don't think the council didn't want to do that.
I like to get one from Sheriff's Department.
We'll ask the sheriff for
Yeah,
another
we
free
want
one.
we want the freebies.
We've done good. Two of the vehicles we have now were free from Tallahassee. We got from Tallahassee. They gave us the truck Garrett's driving, and one of the other bigger trucks was donated from the city of Tallahassee, and it's completely no cost to us.
Well, I think as a minimum, I mean, as a council, I think we ought to at least take some control of this and start to make the decision to sell some cars. A 1998 vehicle in our fleet is not good.
It was worse than this, now, we had the police cars, we just got rid of
Right.
that. They
I'm
would
just
give
saying,
us
we
police.
need to start policing this. It's a little, it's been out of control for far as I.
Years.
Also, some of the vehicles we have came from the prior police department. The two vehicles that we use over at the city hall, those came from those police departments.
Yeah. What do you recommend?
I would suggest
Give so
looking
much
at
money a year for
a
vehicles?
leasing program with a fleet that they take care of it completely, that they do all the maintenance, they do everything. I don't know if any cities around here are doing that.
Well, I know Doug looked into it last year. We had a PowerPoint program on that, and I believe the reason was the cost of what the vehicles were was the deciding factor why they decided not to go with that.
So if you're paying, what did we pay for the last 2023 trucks?
I believe we budgeted 50,000 each time, but I believe usually they're under.
Yes, use the.
But that includes equipping them with like the flashing lights, which are surprisingly expensive, and then some minor stuff like the stickers and the numbers. But yeah, I try to budget, always a little bit more than you actually are going to need on.
Is that what you're spending though? That's what we're at.
No, I don't think you usually spend up to the 50,000. But
We just bought 3 trucks. What did we spend for a truck?
I can pull it
It
down.
was
2023.
36,000, I believe, for the last 2 trucks that we bought around that area.
Do you know what it was to equip them?
That's not terribly bad.
Yeah, I would imagine it was another 2,000 to 5,000 to equip them. So around
I don't
41,
know
41, you
that.
might as well just.
So we already had in here that we were gonna get another one for this year, but
We do.
is there,
And those are half tons, right?
Yes.
So these other ones are Ranger and stuff like that. They're smaller trucks, right?
And the new ones are four-wheel drive.
Mine isn't four-wheel. I'll push it for you.
Are you wanting one truck, is that what you want, is that what we all want?
One truck, and then we'll take one truck out,
$37,000.
sell one at auction or whatever, take one out, the one that's in the worst shape.
Yeah, I would recommend that we proceed with this plan, but also Michelle and I can work on bringing out a full-blown leasing program and take it for your consideration on change.
yeah,
We can definitely start the due diligence on it.
Absolutely worth looking at.
it's worth looking
Keep
at.
going like this.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, we might be able to lease 3 versus buying one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did a big, huge purchase, what, in 05? Isn't that the big one you did? 06? And that's why the trucks are so old, is they financed and bought 20 vehicles. I'm looking at Lisa, maybe she remembers, but it was a pile of them, and it was a 20-year loan. So it took, yeah.
It was before '06.
Was it before 06? It was like 20 years long, and we finally paid them off, and everybody goes, what about our vehicles? Well,
And another thing, Adrian, the trucks that we got this year, basically, Mr. Glenn had put in for a Ford, and they were not available. There was nothing available until 2024, because we buy through the Sheriff's Association to get these. So these came available, they contacted us and said, hey, we've got 2 Chevrolets, and if you want, that's how we ended up with these. It was just about impossible to find anywhere. So,
I think we ought to take the miscellaneous trucks that we have. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miscellaneous trucks, and the earliest one I think is like a 1990s 98, and it goes down to maybe 2005, 2007, something like that. I'd say you take all 5 or 6 of those, gather them together, see what we can get for them in auction, and then buy an additional truck.
I
But
agree.
then you're getting rid of a dump truck.
Yeah. Some of them are special.
One thing, one of those that you're looking at, the 1998, that is the dump truck that was gave to us by Bay County. So we don't have a dump truck, that's the only dump truck we have.
Yeah.
Pretty good truck too.
So
I
there
have
are
a truck.
five, there are 5 listed
Five or
as
6
poor.
vehicles.
We do what we can with what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have 5 listed as poor, if there's a way to, I don't know.
Yeah, if you got $1,000 a piece for them, or $2,000 a piece, I mean, you're not.
You're optimistic.
Yeah.
Put them on government auction, you'll get a higher rate.
That's true.
And could we look at the government auctions too?
I believe we do auction, right?
We do auction them.
I would suggest that the council and the mayor at some point in time at your convenience to come to the yard, like late in the afternoon and
We can do
take a
full
tour of the vehicles and see what and you'll get a good idea of what we have. It's, I
If
mean,
you don't start somewhere, you're not gonna get.
you're right, absolutely, I agree.
I mean,
That's what we were trying to do with
take
this.
4 of them out of here, take them out of here,
Yeah.
get rid of them, sell them.
Well, when purchasing, could we not purchase through a government auction, maybe
Yeah.
some newer models that are in good condition that we don't have to
Yeah,
spend?
that's
a lot of
And that's what we're
money?
trying to do now, that's exactly.
Yeah.
He did the last, time before these last trucks.
Okay,
The 2 that you got, the fold and the,
a couple instead of just one,
Definitely.
with that same
I
money.
like that.
Very
I like the sheriff giving us more.
I do too.
We'll give them a half-time officer to
I'm
get
very-
the truck.
I'm very frugal.
We'll negotiate about that officer. Say, get them.
Yeah,
Shake his hand for it now.
all right.
All right. Page 32, you'll see the canal personnel. And page 33, you'll see the canal operator.
And you get $7,200 for this harbor master pay
Pardon me?
on the wages here. It says harbor master,
Where?
Second line.
30 line, page 33, line 2.
Oh, there you go. I got $2,600 for 12 months of harbor mastery this past 12 months.
What a bargain. I
Absolutely.
want that bargain again.
You want that bargain again, it might be a bit tough.
So, and since you brought it up, I am proposing that we increase the rate that we pay Sandy for that service. He's doing a phenomenal job. We have some other options internally that we could go to, but Sandy has just done a tremendous job with it. You're saving a significant amount of money than what you were doing prior to Sandy running it. Don't break a wheel, that's excellent.
Well, we hired a Parks and Rec
We did,
supervisor
we
last
did,
year that
we
this
did.
was supposed to be part of their
Yeah.
job.
We did,
That didn't
and
make-
he is exceeding within Public Works and taking on more responsibility within Public Works. Tommy's in the drop. You have a few more years with Tommy. You have some great internal candidates. I'll openly say that I think Randy's a great option. And over these next few years, I would prefer him to be focused on the Parks and Rec and the Public Works side of it, rather than trying to manage boat rental slips in the middle of his day. That's my recommendation. That is not how Doug framed it or pitched it. You're absolutely right. But after I've reviewed what we've seen so far, I believe the previous harbor master arrangement was 10,000 plus commissions. You're still under that. It's a great deal for the council, and Randy has just taken off in Public Works, doing a phenomenal job. I don't see any real reason to burden him with stopping what he's doing in the field, leading individuals in the field, to get into his truck, to use his laptop, to use the Wi-Fi, to rent a boat slip. I mean, we can. We can do it. It's the council's decision, but that's how I would propose it, and that's how the budget's written as well.
Hey, Adrian, one thing I'd like to add to that, Randy is doing, as far as maintaining the harbor down there, the boat slips and stuff, having that clean, he's doing all that. The only thing that he's not doing is booking them. He's doing the administrative part. Sandy's doing the booking and all that.
Let's be honest, the previous harbor master only did what I do. He didn't
Right.
clean up anything
That's
or
right.
do it or fix anything.
Yeah, that's the only thing Randy's
The
doing.
breakdown's still working pretty well. And, well, go ahead.
So for $383 a month for the number of phone calls and evening calls you get, I'm sure it's worth it.
To be brutally honest with you, I will happily give you the phone back.
I just did the math on the monthly and I'm like,
Well, no,
okay.
well, I mean, exactly, but it's a case of we built something that I believe is really, really good. It
Right.
really works.
Yeah.
I had a guy call me today, he wants to book a slip for one day. Before, we would have had to run around and fill out papers and everything else. We did it in 10 minutes on the phone, with him, all done and dusted. It's in there, it's done. Nobody even had to leave a seat, no one had to stop working. I was at my desk doing budget stuff. That got put to one side and I moved on to Harbour Mastering very quickly.
Only in
Weekends,
Mexico
again,
Beach.
you talk them all through it. And I've got the boys upstairs. If anything goes drastically wrong, my eyes, when I'm not here, are right up above me. So, and I can tell them what to do and how to do it, how to jump and do it.
So the current system works, I mean.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're well ahead this year on last year. I don't believe I've had anybody complain to anybody about my services to them.
On $7,200, I
We
don't know
make
how you
it
beat
money.
that best.
And I really believe Randy's doing what the council hired for that position. He's just not doing the slip part. Other than
Not
that,
booking
he's
slips.
working weekends, he comes in, he checks the canal, he checks the boat slips, he checks the boat launch facility. He's doing all that. The only thing he's not doing is just like what Sandy's doing, and that's putting them in the slips.
So what's his
And
salary?
he's very good with me communication wise. If he has a question, he needs to know something, he calls me and I give him the answer.
He's an hourly, isn't it?
Yes, he's out.
Yeah, so it's.
He
But
did,
then
on
it's
the
kept
weekend.
So what was our salary
There it is.
for that position, including the administrator?
Well, I think y'all voted, when we brought this up, I think the salary for that was around 25, and he doesn't make that.
Right, he's on hourly.
Well, and for example, when he was hired, the plan was that he would eventually transition into that for an additional $1 an hour. So since he will not be transitioning to that specific dollar won't happen. So it's not like he was being paid to do something and now we're not doing it.
Okay.
We have 2 individuals who are in a position to be successful, and I would recommend that you continue doing that work.
Only in Mexico Beach do you have the Harbor Fire Master Chief.
Make no mistake, he likes saying that.
I beg your pardon.
I like it. Don't ask for a
I have
raise.
to answer my phone, but
He got one, Jerry. He's got a $4,600.
I know that. If you
He
grab
got a
that
phone,
telephone,
Adrian. He got a phone.
Moving on.
who has a phone?
moving on, let's move on, let's sanitation.
And real quick,
Done.
right before we move off now, because she's also here and unexpected, we also need to recognize that Vanessa plays a key role in the canal booking
Yes.
process as well. She does a phenomenal job with the paperwork when Sandy's out, so just want to recognize her as well.
She does.
Is she the 15% on the distribution sheet?
Probably.
I just like to write it down, that's all.
Yeah, I can get you a full list on it.
Okay.
All right, moving on, 34, we have vehicle maintenance, personnel breakdown, and then 35 is your vehicle maintenance operating. It sounds like they may be doing too good of a job because these vehicles keep working. No dramatic changes in this one. You do have machinery and equipment of 10,000, your CIP aligned to that as we had mentioned in the last meeting. If there are no questions on that one, I'll keep moving. And 36 is your Parks and Rec. $37 is your Parks and Rec operating.
What is that salary jump to?
Which one?
46%.
The salary in Parks and Rec. So let's see.
What caused that?
Well, the new man.
Was that the first guy?
Was the Parks and Rec superintendent in the budget last year?
Mm-hmm. What do we buy?
So he was asking why we should, 46% supervisor, supervisor.
Yeah, that's true. The increase would be Randy being set up.
What was his position in the Parks and Rec budget last year? I can check. It very well may be.
Should have
I
been.
don't think he was salary last year either.
I'll have to check, but I can tell you. We'll know. question on this
I think it might have been at the start because we didn't hire one till very, very late. There's been a budget amendment.
Yeah, but the budget should have been still the same, because we approved it.
I don't
Well, this was,
I don't know, just, I'm kicking that out.
Yeah, I don't know if the distribution changed, but.
Could be a change of allocation.
Yeah, that is something that we've been working on in this process, is to reduce the amount of allocation. So as you can see this year, you have 100% for the Parks and Rec supervisor, 100% for the Parks and Worker, for both workers are at 100% due to last year's.
Yeah.
Still in the Parks and Rec. That's a lot of money for two parks. But we need, I mean, we got to have the grass cutters. Don't grass cutters come out that time?
This is just personnel services
Grass cutters are roads and streets.
Man, oh, no.
I think so.
yeah, I mean, even the parts that we had got the bathrooms on back there, we still maintain those, they still cut. We need to-
That's what I'm saying, I think
Just
that's
like a regular park.
Parks, Recs.
checking that.
That's why the
I was still on.
names on those.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Michael?
Yeah, Michael. Can we get, when you do the next draft, can we get the names of the people?
Not the
paying
position,
salaries?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll provide names.
The actual names in there, because
Like, administrative assistant, just,
who Jerry calls the grass cutter might be somebody that I don't call the
Ricky.
grass cutter. Okay.
Ricky and Peggy.
Any other questions in Parks and Rec operating? If not, you have your general fund summary page on page 38. As of this draft, the general fund revenues were at $5,670,331.71. Your general fund expenditures were at $5,666,165.23 for a surplus of $4,166.48. Those definitely have some minor changes, so we'll reflect that as well in the next draft. If there are no questions, we can move into our enterprise funds. On page 39, you have your first enterprise fund, which is the water department. 39 shows the water department revenues. We've anticipated a 4% increase, generally speaking. Now, of course, we have also passed through the county's rate increases for our services, and we have not increased above that at this time unless the council tells us to do so. I believe the increase change was 3% in water and 8% in sewer. So we passed that through, but nothing additional.
Did you ever find when the debt was retiring? If not, I don't think I need it today,
In water or in sewer?
but both, all of our debt, just retirement dates of all the loans we have.
On the interest, why we go from 500 to 25,000?
CDs, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're making money on your investments. It's exactly right.
That's why that's the CD. That
Yeah.
is up.
Yep. That's what was the project that
Okay.
Doug Baber and Debbie were leading.
Thought
Was
it'd be on
paying
something else, but.
significant returns. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you say the pass-through from Bay County was 4%?
3 and 8.
3 on the water, 8 on the sewer.
Yeah, they can increase.
Correct.
You think it's gonna go down?
It's $3, 3% per thousand.
Yeah. It's 3%.
Page 40 is your water department personnel. There is one position that is new being proposed on this side, and that is that electrician that we've previously talked about just a little bit, but this is the time to start talking about it. It breaks down to 40% in water, 40% in sewer, and 20% I believe was in general maintenance. Glenn, do you want to speak a little bit about what you foresee the electrician doing and the potential savings it can produce?
Well, we don't have one on staff, and we deal with a lot of lift stations, electrical motors, we've even got dairy drive in the water plant. A lot of those things we have to hire out, especially termination of pumps. When you deal with single phase, so most of you know that it's really hard to deal with. If you happen to make a mistake, you burn it up, you get a journeyman electrician you've got, and with a three-phase, you've still got to have someone logging your equipment, motor savers and all that stuff. When you get a journeyman electrician, it's just gonna be a win-win. We usually call Panama City to get a journeyman electrician, and the cost there is very expensive. Due to the fact that y'all allow us to fix a lot of pumps and stuff, we've cut way back on some of that, but electrician is the future for Mexico Beach.
What do you think you could find a four-wire electrician for, at three-phase?
I figure probably a minimum of, if you could find someone retired that's just gonna work, you might get one. Just over 50,000 a year, 25 an hour, but if you probably.
You said 50, you talked too fast, Mr. Glenn. 50,000 for,
If
20.
you find someone retired, but otherwise $35 an hour probably.
that's right. On mobile, that's cheap.
We built $36 into the budget.
Nice.
Now, we aren't going to go to that unless we have to go to that. Again, the goal would be to hire dramatically lower. But I want to have a realistic number in there.
Yeah, that's what I did, but yes, as electrician, a three-phase electrician is not hard to find, they're easy, but it's more than just wiring up this building here, especially with the pumps and motors that he does. And we need one, I thought we had one, but we lost it. So, we do need one. I believe it helps in the long run.
And in retrospect, just so you guys will know, these other departments, they pitch in and help us. Fire department, the sheriff's department helps us, Thomas Group helps us. We just completed a deadline in May, on the consent order. A lot of these guys come over free, they would come help us. Just like you talked about Randy, I got a call on Saturday to have a leak on the highway. When I got there, Randy had done found it and started working on it. These guys, we may gab at each other a little bit, but verbiage for us, we work together.
And the thing about the electrician, it can go in both departments, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's
sir. Yes, sir. He'll work with the city of Mexico Beach, whatever's needed.
in any department, that's a good thing.
All right. Page 41, you have your water expenditures.
I've got a question. I don't know if it's employee or budget or what. Glenn, you're our only operator, aren't you?
Right now,
Licensed? We have no money budgeted for training, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you've retired once, I don't know how long you want to stick around. So I think we need to really have a plan for, we're about to get caught without an operator.
Yeah,
The one guy we sent to school.
Yeah.
Didn't we have one guy
we are training somebody.
Yeah, we are.
I've got a man that is real close to completing the second volume of the water. I actually got him on schedule for exam review in the middle of August. I think perhaps he will probably see it in September. And we're pushing him all I can. I think he's a good man. It's Gary we're talking about it. Not only that, also encouraging the other guys to go and get their water. If they don't have water distribution, get that. But what we really need is to get another operator lined up. You're exactly right. And I'm pushing that. I talked to Michael the other day. I enjoy working with y'all. My health is the biggest issue that I have right now. I'm doing pretty good, but I don't want to leave y'all till we get somebody licensed.
So are we paying to help train them? Because we don't have.
We are, yeah.
We should put some training money in.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing after having these meetings on Wednesdays with him is not a very good idea for us, because he preaches on Wednesday. So the next time,
Absolutely.
let's consider it, Mr. Glenn, please. I mean,
Thank you.
That's good.
I didn't think about it until I walked in here tonight, did it? I ain't been to Wednesday night prayer meeting in
I
about.
told Michael, I don't wanna be disrespectful, y'all, I'm gonna respect y'all, I knew this was special, and so I got somebody covered for me now, but just please take that into consideration, thank you.
Absolutely.
We will. I will.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Well, we might need to be all in church on it. We could go to church on Wednesday, see, you could.
Any other questions in operating? Let's skip sanitation for a quick second. Let's do sewer so that we can cover back to back Glenn's departments, then we'll shift back to Tommy. So page 45 will be your sewer revenue. Again, the only increase was a shift through the Bay County pass-through amount. Page 46 shows your sewer staffing. The only new position is the, I stand corrected, it's 20% for the electrician on this one, so.
Talking about the impact fees, get more of them?
Which one? Impact fee for revenue?
Yeah, let's get some more.
Oh, yeah. So those are not impact fees that we're anticipating to collect in the next fiscal year. Those are impact fees that we are planning to utilize in the next fiscal year that you have already accumulated.
Okay. That's by the, okay. So
That's how it is in all your impact, Parks and Rec, water, all of them.
and it matches the machinery and equipment.
Correct.
So you did move it all out of sewer impact fees. Good.
Use
I
them,
like it.
use them, you don't use them, you lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Very soon. Page 47 is your sewer expenditures. Both in sewer and water, I have tried to increase your repair and maintenance as much as I can because it is tight right now to pay for the items that you need. I'd like to have a better stockpile of certain pieces of equipment. We've been very fortunate on breaks on the line through Tyndall. Last time I said that were broken, so be ready. But I think the nice increase on that will help significantly. Any other questions in water or sewer?
On sewer, that's the vacuum truck in there, Mr. Glean.
Correct.
Yes.
As well
You don't
as
think we have to have a man, are you asking for a man, you asking for an electrician?
Yes.
Do you think we got enough personnel to run the vacuum truck? I think we went through this. You don't have to have CDL, do you?
You do it for vacuum truck.
What I thought. You got a man in your department that's got CDL?
I've got a couple that I've talked to about it, and I've talked to Tommy, and he's got.
Tommy's got plenty of them.
Yeah,
I mean, okay. We got, I don't want us to have to get the truck and then we have to get a man.
No, we can cover that.
What's
We
the,
already
what's
talked
the,
to a couple of our guys about that, go ahead, brother.
what's the rental lease, increase there? Sewer expenditures.
those be the pumps.
That's 30,000. I thought we was getting rid of them, Mr. Glean. I thought the pumps. I know we bought one. We got one pump. We just have one.
We've got three, two are operational. One is a really good pump. We wanted to get another bypass pump for this year just to have it. Just so you will understand, y'all allowed us when we came on board, starting in November of 2021, we were running like 5 or 6 emergency bypass pumps a month. And we went in with the staff working. We've got 2 that we're using, but they belong to us. And we've got the plans to take the new one out of service to have it for standby. Potentially we wouldn't have to rent a pump. And those things happen, it's generally all of a sudden thing, but we're working towards the maintenance. We've got in the plans to revamp a couple of lift stations. We've already revamped a couple of them.
I mean, we still got on single phase.
We've got 8, we had 9, we've converted 1, and we plan on converting another one.
That's something we need to budget. We need to make one.
Why are we going 100% cost on additional pump?
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's more of an emergency item in case
That
we
is.
need to rent or lease those
That is.
bypass pumps. Yeah.
We're trying to
Yeah.
keep everything in-house to avoid that.
That is a pure emergency cost kind of item.
That may not happen,
Hopefully will not happen, correct?
and you doubled it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the emergency happens, I prefer to be spending budgeted funds rather than coming and trying to figure out where we're gonna put them.
Just so you'll understand, the last one that we rented was $3,800 for 12 days.
That's a pretty quick.
Yeah, and we do shop around, we get the best price. That's probably the best price.
Sure you do.
But when the pump goes out, electricity goes off, you have to have it. But we do have two. But this what, we got two now, you said?
We got three, two of them are
Two of
operational,
them.
the other one is supposed to be brought back to us, and we're gonna try to fix it in-house. But I want to tell you again, y'all really allowed us to do a lot to get some of these tanks going, I appreciate that.
How about doubling up on operation supplies?
Do we have, I've got some notes, I think I'll let him do. Yes.
Yeah, in terms of setting the balanced budget, we put emphasis in increasing operating supplies and repair and maintenance because we were scratching by in our existing state. Glenn, we speak to more towards the troubles that we have buying specific operating supplies and equipment on both sides of the house.
So one of the things that we see that there is a problem within the supply chain right on, as far as equipment. We do use some chemicals to keep the stations up as part of our sanitary sewer overflow program. We have to do the smoke testing. We have, from time to time, periodically, we have lines that are crushed, we replace that, all this fits into it. We give a report every 3 months to DEP on the cross connection control and also the sanitary sewer overflow. And all this is a part of it, buying the stuff to keep it in. We buy degreaser for the lift station. We've got a program to try to address that, but we still get a certain amount. The operating supplies, everything else kind of went up. That includes the sanitary things we use to buy gloves and stuff. We used a lot of gloves in the sewer.
So Glenn, that was 16,000 last year that we did that. So you did the same thing last year. So you're moving into 23, you're gonna do the same thing. You say that's all a price increase?
No, sir, some of it's price increase, but a lot of it is just general maintenance. We're using.
But
more
you did all the
detergent.
general maintenance last year with
Yeah.
$15,000. Now you
We
want
weren't at the
30,000.
level that we are now, because we were dealing with the consent order, we didn't have the personnel or the time trying to put the backflows in. We put in about 1,400 fuel checks in probably, just over a year.
I tell you what, I'm gonna ask that, I mean, my personal opinion as a council member, I'm gonna ask, we started this going into it, talking about a millage rate and lowering it. But we haven't done anything other than, okay, additional stuff, some additional money here.
That
so-
one won't touch your millage rate.
So let me-
This
let
is
me
it,
clarify that.
Right, that's true. But even cost in a budget, we've added some things, so I think that as you guys department heads, you're gonna have to look at this along with Michael, and really, if it's, to double it up, maybe a little extreme, you might wanna,
I just thought about it after you said that. In the lift stations, we have floats. We got high level, we got low level, we got alarm, that type of stuff, and that's a big problem within lift stations. We replaced a lot of floats. We got 6 in 2 weeks ago. The 6 was $460-something. We don't have a big stockpile of those back there. And one of the things that potentially I would like for us to do with some of this money is to get a little bit better inventory of supplies. And I'd be glad for you to look, we really need to replace our inventory, and this would play part of that, into that.
And by being able for them to stock up on some supplies, and Tommy and I have talked about this, we can shop around and we can get our best prices as well. So that
Yeah,
really helps,
and-
I think, in the long run.
We could move some of it to like a budgeted reserve, and if we don't need it, either way, if we don't use it, it's gonna go to the reserves. So,
In
I'm
the
happy to
sewer-
go with
in the
everybody.
sewer fund.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
And there is no rate increase besides the pass-through in either one of these.
And we gotta keep it moving.
More users helps.
Correct. Before we move back to sanitation, there were two individuals I wanted to talk about tonight for sure, who I believe represent some, or should receive some type of additional increase than what everyone's getting. One of them was Tammy, that we were talking about. I would like to see council give approval to move Mr. Glenn Davis's up another few thousand and put him more in line with the other directors. He had been hired on at a lower rate while he learned our operation. He has excelled, as you talked about earlier today. He is our only operator. We rely on him critically, and I would highly recommend it to ensure that we can keep him as long as we can. Convince him to keep fending off retirement as long as humanly possible.
That was just coming here for a little bit to help us until he hired, and here he still
That's
is.
what I thought, brother.
Every day when I go to bed, I do not worry about whether this city will have drinking water or operating sewer, and that's because of Glenn Davis. So I think you should recognize that with a very small increase above the flat rate.
Comes up to that. If you double that.
Oh,
I
I
went
got
here
you.
and just double it.
Okay, yeah.
I agree. What we need to do to make that happen?
I did that too.
I'll just pull it out the
Yeah.
additional operating. We need that.
But we won't find a man that does what he does.
We will not.
That he's close. Within license on y'all.
Got you.
But yeah,
And Tammy too.
we'll be able to facilitate it with a balanced budget. So no increase, no rate increase.
So if we move this increase or surplus we have in our sewer fund of $5,000 to Glenn Davis's salary, we're still balanced and don't touch any rate.
Correct.
Works for me.
All right, moving backwards to sanitation.
You haven't talked about this much now.
It's everyone's favorite one. Page 42 is your sanitation revenue page. Page 43 is your sanitation workers. We did add those two driver slingers as previously talked about. This there, they're 70%. And then page 44 is your sanitation expenditures. Out of all the enterprise funds, sanitation struggles the most to fund itself. So we had to definitely make some challenging decisions on that front.
Did you increase the rate at all?
Not in this budget. I believe all we did was expected growth. So like the crossing.
Like 16.3%.
Yeah, I don't believe there was a rate increase. I talked to Debbie earlier. I'll double check on that.
But 70,000 is aggressive for increased revenue on that first page. So I know we don't touch our sanitation and it's mutiny on our hands if we try to.
Sure.
But we have service like nobody else, so I don't think a rate increase is out of line.
And to follow up on that, we do not have money allocated towards our multi-year strategy of purchasing an additional truck. If you want to set aside the $40,000 that you would need to continue that program, it would be a 7% rate increase. On a typical residential account, that would move the fee from $30.33 to $32.46. You're talking about a couple of dollars. So
How much was that, Michael? Did you say what towards a new truck, a garbage truck, what'd you say?
if you want to set aside
30 or 40?
I don't remember. My mind, these numbers is already linked together here. But I thought we had, last year, we set aside so many
You did.
for garbage truck.
You said something about 40,000.
Did I not? I thought, okay, that's good, but that's what we budgeted in this year, and we
At
have.
this time, you don't have anything set
But
aside.
nothing.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, what we talked about, Jerry, when we got the other truck, the new truck that we have now, year before last, each year put 40,000 back, and every 3 years get into buying a new truck, getting rid of one of the older trucks. That way, the trucks are in good shape.
how much, are we ahead now, or we just, how many years are we with the 40,000?
You still have 3 or 4 years to go, I believe. I think 3 more years to go.
I mean, I know we did it twice.
Yeah, the truck, the new truck that we just purchased was
Just got it.
around 200,000.
Yeah, we got the money out of something, Debbie found that money. for
You
us.
also,
Purchased that
I
truck.
believe you allocated ARPA money towards
ARPA
it.
money?
Yes. But my question to you is, if we're setting aside $40,000, how many years have we set aside $40,000? How much do we have in this?
I don't think it's very many. I think you only have about 100,000 set aside. I'll double check on that.
That's what I'd like to know,
Yeah.
that, because a new garbage truck is 200.
$200,000
That's a big
from
one.
last.
And we got to, if we're gonna have this sanitation, we gotta have a truck.
I think we're gonna, you're already increasing your projected revenue 70,000, plus you wanna add 40,000. That's $110,000 of growth revenue. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think we will.
So I think rate's gonna happen.
Right, I think you
Sure.
need to.
Yeah.
Anybody know what Gulf County pays a month for sewer?
Yeah, we are working on a rate study though for all 3 of our enterprise funds. So we'll have that before your final adoption.
The different counties, different, okay, thank you.
Yep, different cities within Bay County, and then we'll compare Bay and Gulf as well.
And to preface that, no matter what their rate is, our service is 10 times better.
Correct.
So,
Do you want to anticipate any type of rate change for the next draft and put the truck back in at the moment? And what number would you like?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah,
10%?
I'd say 10.
10, yeah.
So that's actually gonna bring you to 303, 383, 36 would be your new rate.
So with the water and sewer, we had an increase in water and sewer by 8%, right?
No. 3% water,
3%.
8 cents.
8, so it's,
Has anybody drafted that ordinance yet to see what those numbers look like? What our total net to the bill is?
No. We haven't drafted the
Awesome
ordinance.
type of numbers.
Yes.
That's my favorite. I knew you'd tell me.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Any other
Did we just say a rate increase, is that what we said? or-
10% if there's if there's
Sorry, how
consensus on it?
10.
So 10, 8, and 3.
That's what I'm hearing, yeah.
And only 10 is to us, 8 and 3 is for the county.
Correct. Any other items on sanitation?
I do want to say, I really believe we need, and me and Tommy talked this, driving the steel field just, for me, is,
Yes, we need to talk about that. You're absolutely right. That's such a great part. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
We missed it. We were looking at numbers.
As Mr. Smith was about to say, in sanitation, there's a dramatic increase in tipping fees. You're up to $140,000 for tipping fees. That is to increase the amount of times that you're driving to St. Joe instead of the 3-hour trip to Bay County. Now, it's not 100%, but it'll be a significant step in the right direction. I think what we were talking about was in the slower season, we can still go out to Bay County, but in those higher impact seasons, we can go to St. Joe and keep doing the route. We get our workers back. They can make impacts in other parts of the city, help them with maintenance. So it'll be a win-win all around. And then we've also reduced some of the fuel costs and a few of the operating costs, because when we make those trips out to Bay County, it takes a toll on those vehicles. Tell me, how many miles per gallon do they get?
Those trucks average about 3 miles per gallon. One of them gets 2 miles per gallon. So the wear and tear on the trucks, when they go to steel field, they back onto the landfill. So I don't know how many times we've had to have a service truck go put new tires on it at the landfill. And Michael didn't mention the savings you're gonna have on overtime. If we're going to Gulf County, there's no overtime involved. If we go to steel field, you're just about gonna pay overtime every time they go.
So that'll be a
my-
dramatic increase in service.
And Jerry's talked to me about this several times. I think, I agree, it's gonna be a win-win thing. We're gonna get them back quicker, we can utilize them doing something else. And you're, in the long run, it's gonna be a savings, the wear and tear on the truck's going over there.
And the man, it's just that, I just, if you ever been to steel field, that's a long way up here now.
That's Panama City Beach, 77, all the way, you go back Beach Road, then about out of Panama City Beach, and then up 77 to you, I'm sorry, 79. Yeah, so it's a long way.
Outside the airport,
3 hours.
I haven't been there.
just
Yeah.
outside the airport.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
about an hour when you get to the airport, you still, you keep going.
And the dump site in Gulf County is significantly better quality. than the
They
dump
back onto a concrete pad, they dump, and they
Why
put it
are we
out.
even talking about this? I mean,
Because it's cheaper to go to, over there than.
it obviously is not.
Well,
If you do the math.
Yeah, if you do the math, the wear and tear and the
I
tires.
want to go
Well,
here.
the only reason we're talking about $34 a ton over there, and $67 a ton in Gulf County. That's the only thing, it's just twice more.
But the amount that you get the staff back to clean restrooms, to cut grass,
Right.
in my opinion, pays well over.
I'm for budget to go here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that set price? I mean, is it something that's?
Yeah, because Gulf County is a transfer station. They load it, we unload it to them, they load it to another truck, and they haul it somewhere else. Where steel field's an actual location, they bury it, so
That's
that's the
right.
difference in the prices. And it can change, I mean, Gulf County could change according to, but as long as the price of the fuel will stay down, we okay.
Is Fort St. Joe paying that rate?
Yeah.
The exact same rate? I mean, is this?
Oh,
a
but
rate-
I don't know.
Is this a city rate or negotiated rate? or-
Bluntstown somewhere up there, so,
62.
yeah, theirs is based on, for them to make money. I know 67, it's been 67 now for a couple of years in Gulf County, they haven't went up, so.
Maybe it's something you could check in, Michael, if the city
Yeah,
can get
see
a
if
little
there's
bit
a-
Yeah,
cheaper
for sure.
rate.
We'll
If
send a
we're
lot
gonna-
more their way, maybe they
if
can
we're gonna-
negotiate down.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll check with that, yeah.
And if you're curious of the new utility bill, it'd be $129.84, an increase of $8.24, with 3/8/10 and the utility.
Water, okay.
That'd be total.
Absolutely.
$8 and
Be $8.24 across the utility fund, water, sewer, and trash.
That's overall.
Which way it was gonna have to happen.
It has to.
Yeah,
I have about 8 or so more quick pages if you want to power through the whole thing.
let's power through.
All right.
We'll be done.
Page 48 shows your total citywide costs in terms of revenues versus expenditures. This includes your general fund and your enterprise funds. Now, you're still going to see some dramatic fluctuation when we bring that FEMA fund back in, which is actually the next page. The only thing that we're tracking at the moment still is $5 million for the fire, PD, and civic center. But we're working on getting those in, and it will be. I anticipate being here for the next draft. Not to mention, we'll also get a lot of good details when Ryan comes next council meeting for his presentation. But the overwhelming majority of that is funded through federal dollars. So. Page 50 shows various transfers that will be taking place, most of which is through grants and state appropriations. Page 51 is a capital projects out of grants. Now, there's some small minor things that are different from capital projects out of grants versus the actual CIP overviews that are in the back. And for the most part, that's because of the professional services projects. These professional services projects aren't truly capital projects. So they're not tracked on the at a glance. But we track that in the original CIP just so that we can be tracking it in the long term.
So you're at 1.7, all right? 1.775 versus taking that 5 million out, basically. I'm talking to myself out loud.
Yeah. Page 52 shows the new positions proposed. We, again, to overview, half a year of a firefighter, half of a year of an electrician, and half of a year of a sheriff's deputy, and then 2 full years of slingers. I have plenty of others if y'all want to add anyone else. But I believe that these are the critical ones. But, if you want to add...
I gave you a couple last year and you didn't hire them.
You didn't give
I
me
want to
that.
add one. I want to add one.
Which one?
I have it right
That one.
here.
Yeah, I think this would be a great time. This was the page that we talked about an hour and a half ago, so.
Well, also, do you want to talk about, while we're at this level here, want to talk about a change possibly in some software?
Oh yeah, any other general projects? I would do the staffing first since we're on the staffing page, and then any
Okay.
other projects the council thinks should be in the budget that are unfunded. Absolutely. So the remaining pages of the budget are just those CIP overviews. So that concludes what I have. I'll turn it back to you guys for talking about the accountant and unfunded projects.
Let's see, before we move into, well, they may have some input on what we've got to say. So let's talk about Mr. Wolf's favorite, CPA.
I can put out an RFP if you guys want, just to get information about costs, if that's the pleasure of the council.
I think that's the way to go. I mean, I agree with some of the conversations I had around the table about bringing something internal, that's in the person internal. But I really think we need to go after a firm to look at our business overall. And that can easily be done by just going out and get some costs and.
And it would be in addition to, not replacement.
Correct.
In addition to,
I loved it, and I mean, I can tell you guys, when I worked under that in 2015, it was awesome having an accountant assist me in that role. It was
Right.
life-changing. I would have left in 2015, I think, if it didn't happen, so.
and again, I think that goes back to our internal controls, which we did get a letter about that, which we've got to answer to that in August and show them that we're doing something to make a change. And that's from the state of Florida, so we got to start really focusing on that, and this will help. It's a great idea.
The only timeline we got rid of it wasn't in our audit reports when we had the accounting firm. So I think it's a
Yeah.
win-win. It
I
just,
think it is too.
and it costs some money, but we need to know how much.
Correct. Is there a tentative number you want me to program into the budget at this time? Or just wait?
I don't think we have to do something.
Let them
Well,
get it.
yeah.
I know what it cost us in 2015, but that number is not going to be remotely close.
If we issue a 30-day RFP, I mean, it's gonna be kind of close. You may wanna.
So they charged us, we paid $600 a month for the CPA, or the accounting firm to do the secondary then. It'll be nowhere near that now, but that's what it was in 15.
Is there
Four times.
I'm like 12 to 15 is what I think.
I'm just gonna ask you this, is there a possibility of hiring a part-time in-house CPA, just somebody who has a CPA degree? There's actually somebody here in town that I think somebody called me, that was today, telling me that there was a retirement, or a guy that's retired here, I don't.
That might be an option, I mean, that people can make comment, I mean.
That would be an employee versus a firm.
Yeah,
But if they have a,
I'd vote the firm, I like being disconnected from it.
I would like in-house with that position and then a firm as a secondary.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm open to.
That's the best world,
Just-
that's, I think, that,
we're just thinking about cost. I mean, we
It's
can
gonna
look at
cost,
these
there's no
costs and
doubt,
we
but-
might, yeah.
but you're gonna have a whole.
But do you think the cost will be different whether it's somebody part-time CPA versus, I don't know.
I don't either. If you do part-time, you
Still
don't
have the issue potentially of internal control.
have internal controls
Because
because,
the auditor, they would be an in-house person
Mhm.
that still could put a sway on things,
Okay.
where an outside agency has no legitimate interest
Right.
in
That's the difference
or
in having an
movability
employee
of
and, yep.
funds.
And I think you can do the adjusting journal entries before the audit with the outside firm, and if it was internal, I bet we couldn't.
No, you could not.
Okay.
Right, that works. Let's just do that.
Issue the RFP. I will certainly issue the RFP. Do you want me to program a number? You probably won't know before, the end of August. Towards the end of August. I mean, it's already the middle of the month.
18,000, that's 1,500 a month.
2,000?
Yeah, I'd go with that, or 2,000.
You're gonna get it.
18 to 24.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Michelle, since you're on the
I
committee?
would probably put 25 in there.
We can go down.
Well, and the
I
reason
agree.
for that is depending on the firm, if they're a small firm versus a large firm, how much that we're gonna look at them to supply us as far as their institutional knowledge, helping us along as a consultant,
Yeah.
as an as needed basis, or as a regular firmed amount per month.
So you also would have to consider, like, the one company that I spoke with, he said that they could just give us like, what amount did we want to reach up to before they said, hey, we're at this amount, how much more do we want to go up?
Your timeout till next month.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
If the budgeted amount, for example, was 24,000, we would issue task orders to not exceed 2,000 per month. Or I would guesstimate that there are certain months that are more.
Anytime we're in the middle of budget or
Yeah.
audit, those are gonna be
They're
your
gonna be
heavy ended
heavy
months.
Yeah, so.
And what we did back in 15 is they came in once or twice a month, sat next to me. We balanced the budget, or the bank statements together and made journal entries and then moved on.
So we would issue task orders not to exceed, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, other unfunded project ideas? I do want to,
This topic.
Moby maps.
well, I think
Moby maps.
Oh, man.
Like my mother, you get stuck on something, you just won't let it go. No,
I
I'm
want
just
to. I want to say that we were thinking the ones at Sunset Park was next year's, and then we keep funding them in the future years. Or do you want to add an addition to it?
I have a request to council. I got a call today from, where did I forget her name?
Joy?
Joy, excellent.
Yeah.
And she's obviously, needs to release that money.
Yes.
So she wants to know whether we release it to the city of Mexico Beach or the company that we're buying.
That's what we-
And I think it's the company we buy off. So you need to confirm that with her on Friday.
Correct.
The other thing is, we made an initial plan to spend about $11,000, a little over $11,000, and they have like 90,
We revised the quote
400.
to be under that. Yeah.
well, we revised it, but we took away some of the ADA stuff to do that, right?
We took away just a backup, not for the specific amount we needed for what we
Yeah,
proposed.
where they can back up a wheelchair and move it. I
Or-
think for the,
Just like contingency mats. The exact
right,
layout. we
they
still
just
have.
sit, you have them out here, then this sits here and they can move into this place.
Yeah, they have the full.
It's a $2,000 or $3,000 difference when they're investing, citizens are investing almost $10,000. I think we ought to find $3,000 and get what we
Well,
quoted for.
the 3,000 that we'd be funding would just be items that we have in the warehouse in case something got damaged. Is what I mean. Just for the record, just so you know.
The initial, well,
So you need $3,000 to fully fund the project.
correct.
If you want a stockpile of items, yeah. In case anything was to happen to the ones that we're deploying. Correct.
The original quote.
I can come back next council meeting. and
It
get
does change the wings on it, the way that they stop.
All right, so Michael and I have been talking about our software for, and Ms. Lucas has looked at that as well, and she has some ideas about future change in software. Maybe this can happen this year in our accounting software that's more user-friendly, up-to-date. It also would allow us, we're looking at one that would allow us to have a link or a place where we can put it on our website so citizens could see an overview of what's going on. High-end, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah. When you say this year, do you mean this current fiscal year or the next fiscal years?
For the
The
2020.
proposed one. Yeah.
Proposed,
Correct.
yeah.
Which software?
Yeah, which software?
Well,
We haven't started
we
that
have to
process.
start that process. I thought it would be nice to have her involved in that.
Absolutely.
And other, like Mary and whoever, is it Sherry uses it?
Yeah, we have a lot of people that use it. Julie,
all the-
Vanessa.
Julie, yeah.
The software is not great.
It's not user-friendly.
No, it's not.
I've been there.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I did actually meet with a company because when I went down to that training and to our current Florida audit, they both recommended Aclarion. So I went on and booked time with them and they showed me their software. It's beautiful. But I'm not saying that that's the one we need to go with. I'm saying that we need to look and see if there's any more out there that are beautiful as well.
Do not go to QuickBooks.
No,
I had a city
No.
do it, it's terrible.
and no Paycom or Paycor.
Look at Banyan, B-A-N-Y-O-N.
You had one that you said you've worked with before, too.
Yeah, Software Solutions out of Ohio.
Okay. Lisa?
So y'all are suggesting that we switch the system from Springbrook to something else?
Yeah. And
Don't look at me, that wasn't me.
it was right there where you're at.
I know it, but it wasn't me.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Before you start.
So anyway, that search, I think would be worth getting, we have to put out, well,
it would be a full process. It would
Yeah.
be quite a bit.
Yeah.
My only question would be, how much do you want to program for? It's very expensive.
It probably will not be able to happen till FY '25.
but we could start
Because-
budgeting for that change.
Correct.
Start researching.
Yeah, because it, by the time it gets around there, when they do a data pull, you're looking at least 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
because
looking at
of-
70,000. On the high end, it's gonna be less than, probably
Well,
40.
we've had this one for
I'm-
forever.
For my
I think it's
time,
like, yeah, it was like,
Debbie brought it in.
yeah, that, it was,
2006.
I was gonna say it was old. I remember when I looked at the
2006.
contract, I was like, dang. We've had this for a long time. And of course, right now, I think I seen the budget on, the cost on that I signed a check for was like $15,000 something dollars.
For the college age,
And it's for
probably.
the,
Yeah. So if you're thinking 50,000, I think you'd want to budget at least some to start.
time to get started and make.
And then you
We're
can
gonna want to
bridge
send
the
somebody
project.
like you to go learn about it.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to, but you know,
20,000 next fiscal year? A little less than half.
I know you're cutting into my full-time
I know.
office finance director.
I ain't heard any more about that, so I don't know.
I'm gonna bring it up again, because
Let's put 25 in. That would be pretty much half. That would at least allow us to put it, if we select a service, to go ahead and put a contingency on there, so that, because a lot of them will ask when we sign the contract for half, or they'll at least ask for a third, and do 2 more payments of a third before they do installation.
I agree.
I think in the long run, it'll be beneficial. It'll give us more, transparency, which Michael and I have been talking about a lot since he started, and user-friendly. I think that's gonna be so important. And it's updated. The stuff I'm looking at, like, oh my gosh, it's just so,
A lot of
Nice
them have
looking.
customizable reports.
yep.
So if one of you all come in and said, I want a report that does this, this, and this, it's not a canned report, but it has fields that you can pull in and
Things
self-create
you don't need,
that
you don't-
particular report.
you can do that with this one.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Springbrook.
It's just antiquated
It's
and strange,
antiquated.
yeah.
Other unfunded projects and ideas?
I'm gonna do it a third time. Am I the only one that wants her to come in-house, or
Do you mean in-house in Mexico Beach or in-house?
in-house in Mexico Beach, full-time as an employee?
I'm good with that.
I'm good.
I mean,
I
I
think
think
she's
we,
I have no
interested.
problem with that at all.
you know, the impact your budget's gonna be
Yeah,
benefits and
cost.
employee taxes.
Yeah.
And I don't think for her current salary contract, it's gonna work for her with cost of living here. So there are things we need to discuss about it, but if no one's interested, I'll let it go, but I'm gonna keep bringing it up till I know if we're interested.
Hang on, let me get Lisa. Yes, ma'am.
On that issue, I've been very clear, and a whole lot of people I know in town have been clear to me about this. We feel that we deserve to have the person who is handling our money, and it is our money, in-house, available for a 40-hour week, 5 days a week in City Hall, so that we can do as we have always been able to do until 2 years ago. Go in, ask for clarification, get copies of documents, talk to the person about our money. Now, I'm going to ask Adrian, who was our clerk for 6 years. Adrian, how many times a day did you have council members coming into your office when you were city clerk asking you questions about budget?
Not daily. I don't, there's
How many-
some days I didn't have any, but
How many times did you have, how often did you have citizens coming in and asking you?
all day long.
This is transparency. Y'all keep talking about transparency. This is transparency. And as a town, we deserve that. So
Yeah,
consider us.
For me, it's more important to have her accessible to help you than to have it accessible online, because even if it's online, you might not know what you're reading and want to actually talk to somebody.
It is totally different when you're on the telephone or even on a Zoom thingy instead of being right there talking to someone where you can point things out than it is on the telephone or by computer. Totally different ballgame.
Totally agree.
But there's gonna be expense to us,
Yeah,
that's,
and I think her and her husband are pretty willing to consider coming here. So- Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Just a quick question. Were you considering having her live in the city or the area?
Maybe anywhere.
It's good because, you know, because with
No,
first responder, I could understand, but.
Yeah, she can move anywhere. Yeah. North of us is a little bit more.
I don't think she wants to commute, but I think that.
Not for Kentucky, I don't.
We walk.
Yeah, that's, yeah, we will,
I think we ought to consider a mid-year thing, I mean, other than.
I mean, probably that transition would
Mid-year,
take.
we get an opportunity to look at her.
Yeah, she's gonna need time,
And
and
it's-
Maybe after 6 months.
Yeah.
the trial run like Michael's on, you can.
So,
Yes, sir.
budgeting for,
So-
budgeting that late.
Are you taking public comments?
Yes, sir, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So,
Don't be shy, Jim.
yeah, I'm not gonna be, so what I don't think I'm seeing, and maybe I just miss it, future projected costs. And so what I'm talking about is, we've talked about the water pipes breaking and the sewer pipe capacity, the sewer capacity is somewhat limited. So are we planning to put money away to address those in the next few years? I know that, just talking with Glenn, we're looking to try to find a grant for an additional water tower that might be needed here at some point because of capacity. So the other thing is, I talked about stormwater, I think yesterday. Are we looking at stormwater improvements or even maintenance of the ditches that's recommended every year? And I'm not sure I saw, is there enough money in there in Tommy's budget for street paving that we're expecting to have to do? So are those in your budget or?
Paving's in it.
You probably didn't look at the pages, you probably should show them
He
the
doesn't have the
pages.
document yet.
But
Yeah, I can sit down with you.
But my real point is, there are future costs. We should be looking long-term also. And are you considering that in your budget?
Well, back on what he's saying, and what you brought up, Rich, about the cars, the garbage truck. That was 3 years ago. It took people coming in here bitching about the garbage trucks, leaving glass, nails, everything in the street. It was falling apart. Nobody had the money for it. It's like, oh, we need garbage trucks, 200 grand. Where's that coming from? That was a big thing to move money around. You got $1 million dredge coming at the end of the year. There was nothing ever in there for any of that, just like the cars. I mean, that's why you got something 98. And just recently, since the garbage truck, and now you're talking about other things, there's nothing set aside, a 5% or whatever, to just maintain what we have, replacing cars, garbage trucks. You got all this new stuff coming up here soon. You're gonna need another garbage truck real quick. I mean, you got, the size of the apartments is a total of 652 homes and apartments you've approved. You know, whether it's 3 years from now or whatever, that's happening. And you're gonna be in the same boat again, because you have nothing set aside. You know, I know the millage rate, I believe it, property taxes keep going up, so even if you drop the millage rate, you're paying more money. I mean, it's just how it is. But the city's gonna get screwed here sooner or later. I mean, if it wasn't for FEMA buying that dredge, your dredge was falling apart. That was another crisis just to get a motor for it. Because there's nothing in your budget for emergency funding to replace this stuff. And it's never been done. It's one crisis after another.
Could you pull up page 54? Is that good? Yeah, it's just a snapshot. And if you look at, I don't know, pick any you want, dredge hoses, down at the bottom there under Public Works, project summary. Dredge hoses, you can see that they're carried out all the way to 2027. So that's kind of what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, but just like the dredge thing, I mean, for our dredge was falling apart. It would have been done in another couple of years from now. Where would that $1 million have came from if it wasn't for FEMA with the hurricane?
The canal fund.
I mean, that's,
And just to mention, so like the engine purchase was considered an emergency purchase because of the timeline. And
Well, I
the
know.
timeliness,
I
but
know.
the funds were there in the canal fund. It wasn't an emergency in terms of where we were going to get the funding.
well,
So
for
that
that,
was
but
set aside.
I mean, for like replacing a dredge. If the
Oh,
dredge
that-
is good
yeah,
for
that's
15
definitely-
years,
definitely.
there was nothing.
Yeah.
There's never been a penny for that. There's not a penny for vehicles being replaced until just last year. Now I'm jumping through hoops trying to get a replacement truck. There's nothing set aside for stuff like that as a continuing budget item.
That was just a snapshot. There's about 9 pages to that.
So,
No, I
So
went through the last stuff you had with the package from last meeting. And yeah, there's stuff in there, but nothing for the major things. Like, you know, you're saying right now with your software, you got this going on, the outside firm, which I agree 100% for. Outside firm is out of here, so it's two totally different people. Nobody can question anything. You know, that, hey, somebody's finagling this or that because it's outside and here. That's a great idea to keep it that way. But I mean, just, is there something saying like, hey, every year we need to put $40,000, $50,000 for vehicles? Or
Don't we-
another 50,000 towards a dredge, besides your hoses? I mean, look at the price of that dredge, almost $1 million.
Yeah,
At our next meeting, can you bring fund balances too for our
Yeah.
dedicated funds?
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, kind of on that, since I've set up there. Part of it, I know we have had in the past, I call it programs to replace the cars. They just never were funded. Part of the issues I think in the past has been, we the council, or we the mayor, whichever, in many ways, were afraid to raise the amount that we were going to put in our budget because it would create taxes to increase. And we always have had to keep our taxes the same, regardless of what inflation is, or go down. But to go along with that, if you're going to do what you're talking about, in essence, you have to be very open. You have to sell the product. You have to leave the citizens to understand why we're raising taxes. And you can't just do it here at this meeting and 2 meetings more just before the budget goes in. That's going to be a long-term thing. And I think if you do this type of situation in transparency, it's going to have to go online where the person that doesn't bother looking say, well, why are we doing this? Well, let me show you, or let me direct you to where you can see what we're doing and why. We're expecting this at this time. We could wait at that time and do it as an emergency, or what we're trying to do is be responsible and look ahead. That's nothing new, but it is something that we haven't practiced in our city. We haven't tried to sell the excess that we need to be ready for tomorrow in our budgets. So if you're going to do that, please just don't do what we've been doing and wait till July and bring all those things up that we need this item, for $100,000.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're talking about that now.
Yeah.
So that we know where the military
If I might,
could go.
there are certain departments where we saw operating and repair and maintenance funds go significantly up in an effort to be planning for those repairs and operational costs.
so I'm talking about, so let's talk about water and sewer. I recall, maybe it was the state of the city that Al Cathy gave. We were talking about capacity and that we were good in the current forecast up until phase 3 or something in St. Joe. Okay, what are we gonna do about phase 4 and 5? And I mean, I think you need to be looking at that and forecasting that through our budget so that we can address it. Or or address, maybe we go to we get our own water from somebody else, we build a sewer plant. I don't know what the plan is, but I don't think there's a long-range vision of the things that we're gonna need. The same thing with stormwater. We know there are stormwater things that need to be addressed, and there's many that we don't have the resources, I believe, the equipment and the personnel that can handle. We're just gonna let it continue to be a problem, or are we going to address it? At least have a line of unfunded things that you list, so we know what the priority is in your minds for what you want to address with funding that comes in. We can still look at trying to fund some of those things with Senate approved appropriations. There's some grants, low income interest loans. But what I don't see here is the vision of beyond 2024. I see you go out to 28, but it looks like it's mostly upkeep and maintenance of the current equipment. We're gonna be for a big surprise, and we're gonna have to do bonds. We're gonna have to raise the millage rate. Let's not do that. Let's have a plan to get there versus it just becoming an emergency.
So if we stayed at our current millage rate, it's gonna bring our funds up that we'll have available by, what, $300,000, $400,000?
per half.
We're currently 6.5.
For half percent.
Are we currently
Your
6.5?
current one is 50.5, and it's like the difference in what we're proposing.
Oh, that's only one thing, that's only like
300,000, I mean, so $300,000.
$64,000.
Yeah, no,
6.5.
that's per 10.
328, 599 brings us $4,194,635. An increase of 500,000. 394. If we went, you kept it at 6.5.
At 6.5, we're at 3.9 million.
Yes, 398,491.
Yeah.
At 95%.
Yes.
Yeah. I was getting a different number and I couldn't figure out why.
But you can get, what, 645 for every mill, right?
Right, you get, for every 10th of a million, you get $64,000, well over $64,000.
I mean, I think we're all talking probably 0.5%, so really we're looking at, if we don't, we're looking at $324,000.
I can't wait to see the comments from this tonight. I'll probably be liberal and something, I don't know.
That's all right.
You were liberal yesterday, you can't be liberal twice.
But I'm not being elected. I mean, you guys, you're the
We
ones that are
just
gonna
have to
heat
do
with
what's
this.
best for the city, I mean, it's not about politics.
Well, they're not for sure re-elected, we don't know that for a fact. I got a question on the millage if I could.
Yes,
How much additional did you get last year because of the taxable income value? If I remember right, it was like, I know they cut the millage rate down from 7 to 6.5,
Yeah.
but you got what, 650,000 additional?
uh,
Well, property value went up.
don't you have that?
What was the property value last year of the city as a whole?
I don't know if I think I have that.
There was significant income increase last year, which I think is gonna be equivalent to this year, which, if my rough numbers are right, you're talking $1.5 million additional revenue ad valorem to the city.
20%
Yeah.
property
So
value.
basically, our costs have gone up that much. That seems a bit extreme. What's the overall budget?
Everything all together?
Yeah.
With the enterprise,
Minus the 5 million FEMA for municipal building.
$9,166,000? No, 9,564.
yeah.
That's minus the 5 million for the municipal building.
I don't think that's in there, is it?
Yeah, I don't think that's enough.
It's 9.564.
It just seems like a lot of additional money for having maybe 200 more residents than you had last year. It's an observation. I think you should be able to get to 5.5 and have plenty of money to operate the city.
You know,
You certainly won't be able to buy vehicles, you won't be able to put anything back for future or emergencies.
Go ahead.
Well, if I might too, so my proposal for you guys would be, we have money allocated at the moment to create kind of an overarching master plan. My expectation out of that would be, hey, you guys need to focus on stormwater and drill down into that. You need to focus on a comprehensive street repaving plan. But kind of let that document guide that. It is in the budget at the moment. Now, if you don't win that grant, you know, we come back and we reallocate $60,000 for that. That'd be my proposal. But I think you definitely do have funds out there for ensuring the upkeep of the city. And that's reflected in those increases in operating supplies, in repairs and maintenance. You know, I'd love to be at 6.5, absolutely, but I think you can operate the city in a high manner at the 5.9999. With that being said, so far we have a list of $50,000 of unfunded. So I don't know if you want me to cut to allocate those $50,000 in terms of an RFP for the CPA or the $25,000 for the financial. Would you prefer that I cut items from the existing or raise the millage in order to offset your $50,000?
I'll challenge you to keep it at 5,999 and include it.
Yeah.
Change your percent to 97.5.
And then, did you have a number that you wanted to set aside in terms of hiring a full-time staff accountant and the relocation for half a year of increase that I need to put in there for unfunded as well? What would you foresee this position?
Yeah, okay. That's,
We're at 55.2?
where we at?
55.2.
And that was
I
a
have a
little
number
bit.
in my head, but I don't know if I'm really wrong, so I'm just gonna.
75?
That was 70 or 75.
That would put the position in line with other director level positions,
That's
so I
right.
think that makes sense.
70, 75 plus the position. Is this general class retirement or management class?
General. Your only senior management class level is the city administrator.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
You can allocate those directors and.
no.
Okay.
So general class retirement, then you have to figure out the health insurance.
Plus
cost.
benefits,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're looking at 100.
So whatever that net difference, you're probably 110 minus the 57, so you're looking at a net change of 43, 48.
And is it fair to assume that you plan to do that halfway through the fiscal year? Fiscal year.
What I would say.
I say whenever we're ready.
Yeah, it gives us an opportunity to look at the contract first.
You have the best trial ever because we can see if we like you and you can see if you like us before you commit to moving here. How great is that?
We can maybe put on an agenda in October and you can create a game plan then on, do you want to move forward in the next 30 days or do you want to move forward in the next 6 months? But just so I have it in the budget so we don't have to figure out funding later.
Go for it.
So, I'm sorry, I got lost here. So we're looking at 599 with the current proposed budget, but we're not gonna look at future expenses, future projected costs.
We'll definitely do the due diligence on it, absolutely.
How are you doing that? Are you even looking at those costs? Where are they coming from? Reserves, Michael? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, I mean, there is a vehicle replacement plan. There's $100,000 set aside for 24. There's $100,000 set aside for 25. There's $100,000 set aside for 26. There's another 50 and 27.
What's set aside for stormwater repair?
There's mower replacement set aside for every single year. There's stormwater ditch cleaning through Public Works operating. I mean, like, some of it exists. To the extent that we all want it to be, no, absolutely not. But it's there. I think we create the overarching master plan and then focus into it.
Yeah, I love you, Michael, and I've been working with you, but I don't believe Tommy has the capacity and resources to do what needs to be done based on what I think I've discovered in the stormwater issues and the ditches. And it's not just cleaning them, there's some major equipment needed or somebody to come outside to do some of the work. I could be wrong. But I do believe we're quickly running out of capacity for our water. I don't want to put Mr. Glenn on the spot, but I think he said to me tonight that we reached capacity on water. Is it something about needing water? But I don't know that you guys are looking at that in the future.
I think, Tim, I mean, my personal opinion is that we did our last evaluation of that and got input in that in 2015. So So our first step, if anything we budget, we ought to budget to
That's
redo that again,
Yeah.
that same report. 'Cause that was well
I
written,
think we got a lot
gave us instructions.
of in-house stuff we can
Sure.
use.
We
that
should assess all
already-
those, yeah, and we track when the new developments come in, what their future capacity is, and Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have any concerns for several years out.
Our closest thing is our average daily flow with sewage, which is 471,000 gallons a day. We're just, off the top of my head, just over 300. Our water allotment from Bay County is 1.01 million. It's recognized through DEP, our actual availability from Bay County is 1.5 million. So we're not anywhere close on that. I don't know what we said to misleading Ms. Timber. We're not there.
Yeah, okay.
The problem is, if we're looking at the old return line for sewage going to Bay County, that's one of the things that we're looking at. We're actually trying to look at some grant stuff, but no, we're fine right now. And I think that like someone said, I think Michael Ross said, we've looked at projected flows and everything. We're in good shape right now, what we've got permitted. Now, we will have to look down the road, just as already been said here tonight. We've been told that we can get more allotment from Bay County. We're fine on the water side.
Did I read somewhere in that rate increase or somewhere that the system as a whole has reached the threshold that needs to be reevaluated to increase? Not Mexico Beach, but countywide? Did I read that somewhere?
I believe it said something to that effect, Mr. Aiken.
Okay. Who knows what that'll do?
I'm gonna like to bring up a point on one thing. Richard was talking about fleet management and selling off the older vehicles, which is great. But I just want to kind of bring to your attention, you've got two of the police interceptors from the police department sitting out there, the Ford Explorers. One of them has less than 30,000 miles on it. The other one, I don't know the mileage on it. Those things are a gold mine. They're a gas hog and they're a gold mine. You could sell those things for unbelievable amounts. You put them out there for sealed bids. Tommy Ford's waiting on 4 of them.
Wow.
But if you want to look at selling something and buying 1.5 or 2 for what you can get for those are 2 vehicles you can get rid of and you'll save a fortune on gas. And you'll be shocked what your sealed bids come back for those things. You'll be getting bids from Connecticut because nobody can get them.
We can definitely try. We use them, but we can try and, like the gentleman said, if we can offload them for a high enough amount and get something better, yeah.
It's the best vehicle we got there. Sitting in
Very
there.
nice. But yeah, we can definitely look into that, and if you can make money and
Buy some more new
increase
ones
fleet.
with what you get for those,
Buy
because
brand
you will get more than what you pay for them.
Everybody
Just
has
a
their
suggestion.
water
So I just have 2 more things I need direction on.
Constantly driving around looking like I'm a cop.
Did you want a budget relocation in the budget or no? 5, 10,000? Just something.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, right? Relocation, if we have to spend it on the
Yeah.
city administration.
Okay.
At least, it had to be more than 8, because that's what we give Doug, and that's cheap.
Yeah, but it's a,
Then how far they got to move from? I mean, I know who knows Kentucky already.
will there be some carryover with you holding basically 2 positions right now and the savings between the 2 that could offset that?
If you hire someone in August, no.
Well, then it's not next year's budget.
Oh, that's true. We'll see. I mean, yeah. These things can take 2 months. These things can take 12 months. So, but okay. And
10,000.
the consensus sounds like you want to move forward with a interim rate at the 5.9999
At least.
Well, we'll continue to make the next few drafts that way. I do have general announcements at the end, so whenever you're ready. But...
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So I do have to absolutely recognize Debbie and Michelle. They've been huge in this, so I just want to formally recognize them, thank them for that. And we'll keep making these edits. And then I was meeting with the bank this morning. We have Michelle all loaded in, so she's ready to start taking on the day-to-day on that side. And then I was also asking about, to follow up, Mayor, on what you were looking for in terms of view access in our bank account. I think it's going to be a lot more friendly, user-friendly to the council than the view-only access you have through Springbrook. Because you are signers on the account, you already have access to view. As far as I know, none of you are set up. So the approach is if any of you want to individually have that access, we can get you set up with an online banking view, very similar to how you manage your personal finances. It'll look the same, it'll be nice and friendly. So please contact me, and then we'll set up a meeting between yourself, myself, and the bank. We'll walk you through exactly how to get enrolled in that, how to download the app and check the city finances, set alerts for when money moves or money leaves the accounts. So an additional level for the council to be able to view.
Money can't be moved without two.
Correct, and no one on the council would have access to move money or to spend money or to wire money. It would be view access only. In general, it takes two authorized users, such as either like Debbie, myself, Michelle, Doug formally, to execute anything. So.
Next week's meeting.
Oh yeah, so the general timeline called for a potential meeting next week. I would recommend that the council maybe take that week off. It's been 5 or 6 meetings in the last 10 days or so.
I was gonna say either we have to move it earlier or I have a conflict
Right,
at the time.
have it after that council meeting, the next council meeting.
Correct. Yeah, you can do the following week.
Your next council meeting's a night meeting.
Well, and then go that week or
On the
so.
25th, you got?
Mm-hmm. That's a night meeting.
So what are you wanting to do?
Well, I can't do the 19th. And I know
Oh,
Mr.
the
Glenn.
19th is our,
That's your next budget hearing that we have
Budget.
scheduled, but
Gotcha.
I have a conflict with Mr. Glenn with Wednesday nights.
Yes, Lord, we know.
When's the next budget meeting?
we had a tentative plan on the 19th, but we're pretty close, I would think.
Can we knock it out in one more meeting?
I would think so.
I'd be all right moving.
But-
So the 26th, we have them scheduled too.
Oh, we do have one on the 26th?
I'll have to check. Yeah, I don't have to.
At 9 a.m., I think.
But we can decide maybe at the next council meeting on the 25th. Oh well, no, because we'd have to have posting.
Yeah,
We do it because we need it.
If it's on-
Thursday. Oh, what did you say we had on the Thursday?
What's our meeting on the 25th in the morning?
9 o'clock, or night meeting.
Oh, it's a night?
Yeah.
We had the 26th as an alternate date for budget workshop.
At what time?
We didn't have time for post.
I want to get that.
I'm all right with the 26th.
I'm bothered with 26th.
Not the
Well, if we
26th.
do the 26th, I'll have to do it at night because I work here today on Wednesdays.
Well, will we need Glenn to attend the next
How
one?
about the 27th?
Sorry.
What?
You have a job?
27th.
Yes, sir, I do.
27th. I mean, she can't come.
And
What
try
about you on
retirement.
27th?
Well,
Good
actually,
stuff.
no,
Depends on time for me.
27th,
I mean, council day the 25th if we did it in the morning. And then do a morning and a night like we did yesterday, but I don't know.
That'd be all right.
25th, I'm off I take Tuesdays completely off. Tuesdays and Fridays are days I take completely off. Mondays I split my shift.
That'd be
So
good.
I'm off in the afternoon, from noon till like 6 at night.
So what about 9 a.m. on the 25th?
Yeah, that's good.
That
for me.
works. 27th
Good
at
for
night
me.
also is good.
27th at night.
Good with you, Miss Howard?
When is it?
Linda, you got any?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'll ask her that.
Already nodded my
For which
head.
day?
She nodded her head.
25th at night?
25th at 9?
So we're doing the 25th, that's our regular, no.
Yeah, it's a regular meeting, but
Yeah.
our meeting's at night.
Not that,
Yeah.
yeah, we could do that morning, that night.
Oh, and then
Do the
do.
workshop in the morning and,
So then we're alternating our budget workshops as well. Maybe we'll get different attendance.
As long as we don't have on Wednesday night.
All right, so we'll update the calendar for the 25th at 9 for the next workshop. Since we're starting to talk about the end of the month, I do plan to travel at the very end of the month, just as an FYI. I'll probably take at least one day off.
Oh, what?
Those days are over, don't you know that?
And I'm also going to travel this weekend, just as an FYI, but I'll be available.
So July 25th at 9 a.m.
Is what?
Yes, ma'am, budget hearing, budget meeting,
Okay.
not a hearing,
So
budget
we're
workshop.
changing it. Okay, and then the council's at 6.
Correct.
Got it.
So you can tell I blocked Tuesdays out for,
That's good for me, because I'll get the doctor's appointment for the next Tuesday.
Chairs look hard.
Okay. Anything else from the council?
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.